Hey, my name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm glad that you're all here today. Awesome. I'm happy that you're all vegans and you're all here, my VFFs. This is the Vegan After Dark show, and yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in and get our guest on right away. I'm gonna play the channel theme, and then we're gonna go straight to it. I want to thank Kitten Pyramid for making the channel theme because it's not so hard not to abuse animals. And right after this, James Aspie will be on the screen with me.
It's so hard to not abuse animals.
Carnies can fuck themselves. Go fuck themselves.
This is a shot of all veganism. This is a shot of all veganism. This is a shot of all
Yo, welcome,
Whoa.
welcome. You like that? You like the intro?
Whoa.
I thought you'd like that.
Who could not love that, bro? That was incredible. I'm sure that's the best intro of any YouTube channel I've ever seen. It's amazing.
I'll let Kid Pyramid know. Yeah, thank you.
That hit me deep. I loved it.
Well, I know that you take on the trolls hardcore, and when I started this channel, people were like I wanted to be about vegan community and everything, and then when I asked Kitten Pyramid to make me a channel theme song, they added the carnies can go fuck themselves. So I was like, yeah, I guess that's what I'm about. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? Fuck them.
Fuck them. Actually, go ahead.
Are you trying to keep it to vegans? Like you really just aren't going to be speaking to them much at all directly?
Well, my day job is activism. So like I am all day long doing activism.
So this is an escape from that.
Yes, I work
Beautiful.
for PETA. I'm on tour right now. I'm traveling the country with a chicken truck. I drive a chicken truck that plays the sounds of chickens dying.
Right.
So
awesome.
Yeah. So I deal with carnies.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I do outreach every day. So the
wow.
YouTube channel, I want to be there for vegan community. I don't think many people are really like concentrating on vegan community and doing like be that,
cool.
you know,
100%, dude.
When I went vegan, I didn't have anybody who had my back. Everyone was talking shit. And I kind of want to be that uncle that's like, hey, I've been vegan a long time. Come on in, bro.
Yeah, I understand.
Come on
You'll
in.
be okay.
It'll
great,
be all
brother.
right.
Yeah, man, it sucks, but just stay with us. You'll be okay.
You'll be okay. And some of us suck too, but it'll be all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Great to hear, bro. Sounds like a great supportive channel. Stoked.
I'm stoked about it.
How long have you been running it?
Just 2 years.
2 years, nice, cool, man.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
2 years, and I'm pretty stoked about it. I started, I wanted to do a vegan clothing brand. I wanted to do all this shit, but at the end of the day, what I was actually passionate about was building vegan community and hanging out with vegans. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. As you said, you've been vegan a long time, dude. So I'm sure you can see some things that could be better in the movement. You got unique eyes on it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it from back when no one knew what veganism was to like watching what happens to anyone who pops their head up on Instagram or anything talking about veganism. But you know all about that. How do you? I've been listening to some in preparation. I mean, everyone knows your speech, your famous speech, your free speech that you would give, and it was. It always resonated with me because I've been vegan. I think you've been vegan for 10 years, right? I think something like that, 2014. So, when I watched your speech the first time, I was like, dude, this guy gets it. And you were the first vegan that was out there on the internet talking not about cooking shit, not about reducing suffering, not about utilitarian bullshit, but these animals are enslaved. This is wrong, and we need to do something about it. And that resonated with me immediately. And you got a lot of shit for it right away, didn't you?
Actually, no, not right away. Eventually, I've been through a hell of a lot over putting all this out there from many different angles. But initially, it was very low key. I started with no following, and the day I went vegan after considering it very heavily and knowing I needed to for about a year, being vegetarian for about a year, I had an idea to do a vow of silence to raise awareness for my new passion for animals, because I just all of a sudden was like, wait a minute, we don't need to eat animals to survive, but all these slaughterhouses don't need to be here. So we're all just slaughtering because we like the flavor. Well, that's fucked up. Yeah. People need to hear about this shit. And then I got, how can you not get instantly passionate upon that realization? So I was like, oh, well, what can I do? Maybe I can do a vow of silence. Maybe that will raise awareness. It's a campaign. I think it'll be cool. And I also enjoy going around Australia, personal challenge. And that was cool. I had a lot of fruitful conversations, and I was posting almost every day for the first 6 months, teaching people, like talking about my journey, where I was going, being voiceless and all that. But then always with a vegan or animal rights message or some sort of tip or something at the end. And, my first year, I got a bit of this and that, a bit of bullshit, but just pretty standard. By the end of that year, I still only had about 25,000 people or something following my Facebook. Yeah. But then when I spoke for the first time, I did an interview on TV. It was seen by tens of millions of people. And, or it has been now, but it's 10 million like that pretty much. Yeah. And then things escalated pretty fast from there. I became more known and received more people commenting on this very viral video, and started traveling the world giving speeches and talking about, this topic the way I talk about it, and been on TV here and there and posting regularly pretty much the whole time. So after a while, the level of hate that comes to you increases, and we're on social media where thousands of people have access to you at any second to send you a DM or a comment. Totally. So it's like intense on another level.
Well, and there's social media, kind of the toxic side of social media I want to talk about, I want to get to, but I wonder if you'd be okay with me backing way the F up and going to because one of the things that I'm really interested in is how people got to this. So I know about the cruise, most people know about the cruise ship story and everything, but what about before? How did you grow up, man? You out there in the bush? You out there with some Australian Australian hippies? Australian hippies?
No, not really hippies. Okay, so I'm literally living on the bush. Like, my backyard's a big national park. We had an amazing view from our house, and I was in the bush every day as a kid growing up. But I never, ever loved animals, because I knew people that did love animals, but they still ate animals, right? So, but I wasn't even one of those guys. I had a dog, and I never got along with my dog, never resonated with my dog.
Never got along with him. I was like, fuck that dog.
I was, bro.
I had a dog, but he kept on eating my homework. He wouldn't stop eating my homework.
I never ate my homework. That was a problem, bro. No, but for real, I just, I wasn't close to my dog because I didn't value animals. I thought, what the fuck, this dog, it's dumb. Whatever. And I never gave it a thought. That was me being dumb, but it was how I was, man. And, I remember times I went fishing a few times. I never went and hunted. I remember considering it once and being like, I don't know if that's for me, just going and fucking shooting animals. Nah, I don't, maybe I would find it fun, but I'm not going to go out of my way here to make that happen. But I was eating steak for breakfast. I was eating ribs for breakfast. I changed when I was 26. Until that point, I ate more meat than everybody I knew, pretty much. I was, trying to bodybuild and eating. And, I have this crazy memory, bro. I don't know if I told this story before, but it's sort of one of the first meaningful things that happened around me giving more consideration to animals. And it's a fucking trippy story, right?
Yeah, that's the type of story I'm into.
Well, I got a good one for you.
Good, let's hear it.
All right, so as I'm saying, I'm in Australia. Me and my mate Jared are down the bush, and he's a hell bushman, just could survive in the bush easy if you're left in there. He loves it.
One of those types.
Anyway, so we're down there. We smoked a little bit of weed already, so a little bit high, a little bit just sort of thinking about weird shit. And we're walking to this place to go have a swim. And on the way down, my mate's telling me about this Australian guy he knows, a real bushman, like I think it was an Indigenous Australian, if I remember correctly. So all about it. And he's like telling me how this guy had told him that eating goanna tail is delicious. You know goannas?
No.
You know what that is?
Look it up,
bro. Look it up. Can you? It's a big lizard, but if you don't mind, look it up.
Goanna.
Maybe share the screen for anybody.
Goanna. Goanna.
Double N.
Oh, I see him. Okay. I got him. Hold on one second for me and get some images. I will share the screen right now to see what you're talking about with this goanna. Let's see a goanna tail.
You need to see it for this story to.
It's like he's like a monitor lizard, isn't he? He's big. He's a big one.
Keep looking. They are big and they're strong and they got big claws.
Oh, here's somebody with the.
Race
here we
up
go.
trees.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're wild, mate. Like they're thick, muscular. These all honestly look pretty small. So anyway, right, you get the idea.
Well,
See how that one? Look at that one. Go back down to that one with its head pointing up. Yeah, right there. That dude. All right, that's important to the story.
All right.
Goanna facts. In the middle bottom. Yeah, we should probably read those. That's the one. All right, see how he's got his head up there. So my mate's like, all right, bro, bounce it off the screen now and we'll get back to how it was, if you don't mind.
No, you got it.
All right, cool. That's perfect. All right, so you know what goanna is now.
Now we know what goanna is.
He's like, goanna tail is delicious, I heard. I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know if I'd eat a goanna tail. Maybe, probably. And then he's like, if we find a goanna, would you be open to killing it and we'll eat it? And I was like, fuck. As I said, I'm a little bit high and shit. I'm like, fuck. I trust this guy with shit like that. So I'm like, you reckon we can do that? He goes, man, yeah, I reckon we can do it. I was like, all right, well, we're going to eat meat anyway. So might as well just, like, we're going to kill someone anyway. Might as well kill a goanna, eat that. Same thing. Like, I don't see any difference here. Yeah, all right. And I've never done anything like this before. Except for, as I said, just fishing a couple of times, which, was kind of a different vibe. All right, yeah. It's just like a recreational activity. I wasn't going to hunt for my food, really.
Right, yeah. Like,
all right, so we walk down, we have a swim, no goanna. And I'm like, glad, because it kind of sounded a pretty intense activity. And then on the way back, my mate we're both on sort of different tracks trying to find a goanna. Got this whole plan of what we're going to do with it by this point.
How does one find? How are you like Are you kicking bushes? Are you climbing? How are you looking?
All right. No, we're just walking like kind of quietly, but through the bush, and my mate, see how they've got their head up like that guy. He told me they put their head up, so you got to get a big stick and throw it across the ground. Also, keep in mind, I have no idea if this is actually how you would do it, but this is what he thought at the time. This is what he told me. It made sense. So I was like, all right, so we need big sticks. We're going to throw it across the ground. And then we're walking, right, with our sticks a bit away from each other, and he screams, goanna! So I couldn't believe it, bro. I've been down the bush a million times. I've barely ever seen a goanna. He's like,
you weren't looking for him.
No way. Yeah, we were looking. So we chased this goanna up a tree. This is a bad story, bro, but I'm telling it anyway.
All right.
We chased this fucking poor goanna up a tree, big goanna, hanging on there by his claws, up on the trunk, up quite a high tree, right? Just stuck up there, And we start throwing big rocks at it.
Oh, no.
And we're missing it. Thank God. We're missing it. We're throwing so many, dude, trying to get this goanna. Stick to the plan. Missed it every time. And then I just got kind of like, dude, we're missing it. Like, maybe we shouldn't do this. After a while, we've sort of been thrown all. I'm like, maybe we should have second thoughts. So we called our mate. We're like, yeah, we're a bit high. We should call someone, who might make a better choice. I think my cat's at the door. Might make a better choice. So we call a homie who we think's gonna say, yeah, just do it. It's a good idea. Go eat it. And he's like, nah, don't, man. That's cruel. I was like, fuck. Look, yeah, maybe he's right. I don't know. This guy's responsible in this way, sort of thing. Maybe it's not good, but we couldn't really make the logic of it because we're going to eat meat anyway, cow.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we shouldn't kill it. Look, what we'll do is throw 10 more rocks, and if we don't get it, we'll go.
You said 10 more rocks. 10 more. That's
about 15 more rocks later. We're like, let's go. They're flying past this thing's face, dude. Like, it was so intense.
He's dodging them? Is he like?
We are just missing, bro. He's stuck like a statue on this tree.
Y'all
nowhere to go. He could have run down and ripped us to shreds, but he didn't know that.
In America, we learned baseball as children, so we don't have.
Baseball. I know. We never have. There's no baseball in Australia.
That's why you were bad at rock throwing.
Skateboards and bushes.
Yes.
That's what we got.
Yeah.
Usually we're not so violent down there. So I promise. Usually we're just going to chill and swim. Like, so this one time, this guy's thought of this idea and found a goanna. It was unheard of. But then,
and that was your first time you started thinking about cruelty to animals, or that was just one of the big...
Not yet. This is the crazy part of the story coming up. All right. So, yeah, we thought about it for 2 seconds, but not really. We were both like, damn, we left empty-handed, maybe another time. That's what we were thinking.
One of these days we'll have the sweet nectar of goanna tail.
Yeah, exactly. Looking forward to it. All right, don't worry. Another time, bro. We'll come back. We know where they live now.
I'll get you one day, goanna.
Yeah.
You will escape this time and next time.
So anyway... That night, bro, I go to sleep and I have a dream that I'll never, ever forget. I've told the story 100 times to homies and that. I just saw a comment pop up. We are born killers. Nah, man, we are conditioned killers. That's why I took 100 rocks and couldn't kill this thing. That's why we were all having second thoughts, even though we eat meat. We're born compassionate to animals. We're not born psychopath killers. We're just conditioned, as I was at the time, that eating meat is normal and natural and necessary. So if we're going to do it
that's
anyway,
the thing that was going through your head, wasn't it? That what's the big
we're going to eat it anyway. This is just a bit less cow off the shelf at the supermarket instead.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? Balances out. I'm just killing myself for a change.
Yeah, we're conditioned.
I'm killing the animal myself for a change. But anyway, so I just don't believe what that person said. I think it's very opposite to our natural instincts of being compassionate and helping sick animals.
I think he was more commiserating with your situation there.
Sorry. I'm so used to trolls, bro. I forgot I'm on a channel with nice vegans.
Mostly nice vegans,
I don't know. We're born killers in a way, because we're born into a society that normalizes violence. So absolutely,
right. We're born into this hierarchy, aren't we? We didn't invent this hierarchy. We inherited this hierarchy. People talk about patriarchy, that people talk about white privilege. I talk about these things. These are things that I was born into, and I can recognize them and realize that even though I might have been a beneficiary of those things, I could still take a stand against them. And it is hard being, but I think what you said was perfect. We're born into it. We're born into being killers because we're taught from a very young age that, like, I just found out recently that there's baby food that's pureed chicken baby food.
Baby lamb we have in Australia. A baby eating babies.
It's fucking crazy.
Oh, it's also crazy.
So you're leaving the bush. You're like
I'm about to tell you the crarazy part.
I want to hear the crazy part. Let's get crazy. Let's get crazy, James Aspey.
I cannot forget this shit. And it's been something I've thought about so many times since. All right, I go to sleep. I start having this. At the time, I was always having the most vivid dreams. The next day, every day, I'd be like with my work friends or whatever. Oh my god, last night was so crazy, and it was always just so different. And my dream life was like very exciting for quite a few years around this time. But this one was very different. So, I have a dream. I'm on a tropical island, and I'm running around looking for my daughter, which I didn't have at the time and still don't have a daughter, except for my cat, Olivia. So I'm like, where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? And everyone's just looking at me, not answering. Where's my daughter? running around, freaking out. No one's helping me on this tropical arm. And then next thing I know, I'm in a circle of guys, of like Indigenous Australian looking guys. Right? I'm in a circle in between all of them, in the middle of all of them. They've got these huge sticks, like big thick sticks, person height sticks. Yeah. And one of them will just smack me in the chest. I'm like, oh, and I'll kind of get thrown around a bit. And then the next guy with his stick will smack me, and I'm just stuck in this circle of guys smashing my body with these big sticks. And it's freaky as fuck. And then next thing you know, I'm in this warehouse, this big warehouse, and I'm running around with this girl, so scared, trying to get out.
This is your daughter.
Huh? Yeah,
this
I think it's my daughter.
Yeah.
I'm running around, bro, trying to find an escape, get us out of there. And there's just people there with, electric pencil sharpeners.
Yeah.
All right, so people, electric pencil sharpeners, sharpening pencils with these possessed eyes, looking at me, sharpening pencils everywhere I run. And then, anyways, freaky as fuck. Eventually, we crash out of the door. Still holding it. Smash out the door. Light, freedom, relief, so grateful. And out of nowhere, this person with this big fat dagger is just there and stabs my daughter in the chest. And then she's just dying in my arms, and I'm freaking out. My cat's yawning. Wait a second.
right as the daughter's free, she's dead. She's free of her mortal coil.
We both get out, and then she gets killed. And dude, this was the day that I was attacking a native species, a native animal important to the indigenous people.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a kidding.
Dexter. And mate, I didn't think about anything like that when I went to bed. Oh, I wonder if the indigenous people were going to be pissed off. It was a dream I'll never forget. And it felt like I was visited by something that was like, don't fuck with these animals.
Don't fuck with the indigenous animals of Australia.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no one was ever in my dreams standing up for cows.
No. You had to do that yourself.
Maybe we'll haunt people's dreams, dude. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, but I love this is the type of stuff that I'm really into, because we always talk about this like movie we saw that made us vegan, or the Indian guy that you met on the cruise ship that made you think about vegetarianism. We all have those moments that we go like, oh, that was the thing that clicked. But actually, there are these other seeds that were planted either intentionally by someone else or just by our own experiences with violence. I think it's often with violence or some brush with violence that causes us to start considering the oppression of others and what that feels like,
Like, and what do you mean by that? Can I get a bit more info on that? You mean someone has to like have some sort of bad experience? Not has to, but it helps to have like an experience where they have been treated badly and been hurt or something?
Not necessarily. I think sometimes our experiences with violence might be not necessarily on the business end of it, right? In this case, for example, you weren't on the business end of the violence. You weren't being abused at this point. You were attempting to abuse an animal. I talked to lots of people who are ex-deer hunters or ex-butchers, people who have started to think about ex-soldiers that have had some kind of, let's call it an awakening about the violence that they've witnessed. And a lot of us, we just accept that we live in a violent society. We see it and we watch the news, we see people dying on TV or whatnot. Yeah. But we don't consider it. We don't think about it. But some of us do. And
not to.
Yeah, they prefer not to because and also that's conditioning. You're conditioned to say, well, that's just the way it is. That's just the way the world is.
Exactly. And to be distracted by other shit.
Mm-hmm. And also to trivialize violence through pop culture. I mean, I was complaining this morning on my morning show about how Fast and Furious used to be about cars and shit and like heists, and now it's a gun. Now it's a gun movie. Now it's people getting shot. Like it's just 30 people dying, 50 people dying in each movie, and I'm not okay with that.
Different vibe.
totally different vibe. Yes, a different vibe. And when violence is cartoonified, we start not becoming, in a way, desensitized by it.
100%. So
Hmm.
desensitized, mate. Big
Yeah.
time. But and then, in a way where like also so death is so hidden from us, in this culture. Like it's so everywhere. We see it all the time, but it's almost always not real.
Yes.
But then so much real violence, and yet we don't see any of it.
Right. One of my favorite examples of this is when America was perpetrating the wars, where our wars overseas in the Middle East in the 90s. Sorry, in the early 2000s. The 90s was a bit different, but then in early 2000s, they they weren't allowed to show the American coffins coming back. They weren't allowed to show that on TV. And it's like, well, that is the cost. That is the cost of these wars overseas. That's our cost, but we're not allowed to see what actually is happening, what our tax dollars are being paid to do, right?
Even seeing coffins. Sorry to interrupt you, bro. Even seeing coffins is a big wooden box.
Yeah.
It's still pretty separated.
You're absolutely right. With the flag on top, usually, right? They put the flag on
exactly.
top, and they weren't allowed to even show that. So, and there's they're purposefully obfuscating what these animals are going through, and if they didn't, I wonder. I mean, obviously, it matters because of these ag gag laws in your country and mine that are keeping people from the truth. It obviously would have an impact. I wonder if we could stay on Australia for a second, because there's something that what is with Australia and animal rights activists? How come there's so many coming out of Australia? And some people love, some people hate. There's but I can name like 5 off the top of my head right away. I mean, like there's you, Paul Bashir, Joey. There's Durian Rider, Freely, Tash.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's probably an answer with those two actually. I think they definitely showed people that you can, if you focus. Look, we had Gary Yourofsky who did a speech that went viral, so that showed social media is viral, can make things viral for the animal rights movement, and he didn't even know that speech was being recorded, as far as I remember. Yeah, but then we also have people
like 300 times,
thousands of times. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I think he did a couple of thousand a year for more than a decade. Yeah, I could be wrong about that.
When he was with PETA, he was doing the college tours, and so he was doing that pretty right. That was like PETA's big thing. Why they hired Gary was to have him go from campus to campus all year round and just give those speeches. So by the time that thing was recorded, it was pretty polished.
Yeah, exactly, and it looked perfect.
Yeah, it was
good. I think what it is then you had people like Freely and Durian Rider who got really famous, showed that it was sustainable in terms of a career path and you could make money doing it. And you can reach hundreds of thousands of people with some of these just pretty basic videos with a very important message. I know that Joey was a friend of Durian Riders, and I saw them, but I saw them after. I saw them during my year of silence. I had no idea that they existed. I didn't know. As I said, the day I went vegan was the day I started my vow of silence. The year before that, I'd planned the vow of silence and studied animal rights theory. I wasn't into social media at all. I didn't have social media really. I just got it for the vow of silence. So I missed all that.
You started studying the animal rights. Who was your inspiration? Who did you find that really spoke to you?
When I say I studied animal rights the year before I started the vow of silence, so it was while I was vegetarian, and I was trying to be vegan, but I also was really struggling with an eating disorder at the time. So I was doing my best, but food was something I was really not in control of. My eating, it was like a drug for me, and I was very I was in a dark place with it. It was a tough challenge. Yeah. So
Okay.
So anyway, my cat is meowing and like dodging all these cords everywhere to knock all this shit over. So what was I saying? Dude, what was I saying? I was talking about Highly
You were talking about
enjoying.
addiction and animal and your eating
Oh,
disorder.
you asked me so what I did that year, I just studied animal rights FAQ kind of thing. It's an actual website, animal-rights.com, and then they've got the FAQ there. I printed that out and I studied the what if this happens, what if that happens, and they've got like 10 sections with 10 questions on each section. And I figured if I can study that, when people ask me questions, I'll be able to answer their objections. And through the sales I've been doing on the cruise ships, that's what I learned I needed to do. Just if I can answer every question, this is going to sound like a really good idea. So I did it from like a sales point of view, handling objections, and then study that for the year, plan my vow of silence, did everything required to, make it happen. He's going to cat. So excuse me. So then, though, when I started my vow of silence and I'm traveling around Australia, learning about animals, visiting sanctuaries and going to factory farms and, just getting deeper in the movement, I cycled across Australia from Darwin to Sydney because my van broke down. And during that time, I downloaded every single animal welfare versus animal rights thing I could find, So it was a lot of Gary Francione, who talks, he's a lawyer from Rutgers University or professor, and he talks about all the theory of animal rights and how it, what needs to happen in the law and things like that. And then the animal welfare stuff, I didn't realize there was this sort of clash between people. And that was again something I sort of paid attention to and found really important to know and interesting, fascinating. And so, I made my moves through that, bro. And basically every single time I get on the bike to cycle across Australia, I was listening to another Gary Oski lecture. And I got on that bike, a mindset of what veganism and animal rights was. And I got off and I was like, all right, I fucking got to change some shit. And I've learned some shit. And this is how I think things need to be said now. As it evolved, since then as well. But yeah, it was an important time for sure.
It's interesting because throughout your life, you've had some brushes with addiction, let's say, and you've had. It almost sounds like that is an obsessive kind of behavior as well, though, isn't it? I'm going to go because I think I've dealt with that as well. Like this idea, I can study my way through this. I can get through this if I just buckle down and keep my nose at this one thing. I don't know. Do you think that's just in you and who you are, or is this something that moved you so much?
I was extremely moved, more than I'd ever been in my life. So I was also putting myself out there, and I had a TV interview coming up where I was going to be talking about this extremely important topic that I've just not spoken for a whole year for. And I want to say something good. Like I want to say something that people remember that makes a difference. I think the words are powerful enough to be able to do that. So I wanted to learn what those words needed to be. And Gary helped me a lot. His words helped me get a lot to the point of what I said when I broke my vow of silence. It was very much trying to put his words into my own. So yeah, that's where I was at with that. In terms of this knuckling down or this addiction sort of mentality, I would have struggled with addiction before. I used to party and I party now as well, but I don't think I would say I'm an addict to anything. I think it's more of a discipline thing actually. So when I was younger, eventually I received my black belt in karate, and that took many years of discipline, and that got me that was my growing years from like 7 to 14 or 8 to 15 or something, where I put that time in, and it just helped me, learn how to work kind of thing. Yeah. And I'm not excellent. I know a lot of people way more disciplined and things like that than me, but when it came to doing this vow of silence, it was one of the things that I thought, okay, I've done hard things before. I've put my mind to something, and if I don't want to talk for a year, I can make that happen. I didn't really have any role models to look up to and be like, how was it? Is this possible? Like, am I doing something crazy here? So I just sort of went with it from that kind of reasoning.
Yeah, I didn't mean to suggest anything about addiction. It's just that lately in the interviews that I've heard you give, opioids come up a lot, kratom or kratom, however you guys say it in there.
Yeah, out of necessity, just like anyone who is sick and needs medicine.
And that's something that I think is it's to your credit that I speak to it, that you've kind of been so open about what you've gone through in the last year. And my it's funny because the James Aspey, when you kind of disappeared, I was like, dude, the cages aren't empty yet. All the cages
I
aren't
know,
empty.
bro. Trust me.
I
I didn't stop
know, right?
thinking about that for 1 second.
Yeah, and so I was like,
You
"What the
know.
fuck, James Aspey? We needed you, and you disappeared." And then I hear you were going through so much in the last year. Could you speak to that a little bit? Oh no, am I gone or is James gone?
Dude, yo, you cut out or I cut out for about 10 seconds or so there.
Great. So sorry about
The
that.
cages aren't free yet. Go
The cages,
ahead.
yeah, the cages aren't empty yet. All the cages aren't empty yet. So I was very much like, "What the fuck, James Aspey? You were going strong. What the fuck?" And I remember
Yeah.
when you kind of disappeared. I was that was my whole like, man, I don't know what's. But then I find out you were going through so much in that year of absence, and I'm curious, if you have any. I'm curious about kind of what do you think caused all that pain? Because I'm trying to I'm trying to tell people what happened and not take your thunder. But you were dealing with severe pain and all over pain, like a fibromyalgia situation or something.
Not fully all over, but many areas. It wasn't like every single part of my body, but yeah, it's severe pain in my hips, in my neck, often in my one or both of my shoulder blades, down my right arm, mate. Constantly is the problem. It was, but it sounds like relentless.
It sounds like that you came down to the cause of this is dealing with the stress of trolls. Almost, it makes it sound like.
Look, dude, I've been in pain. No, so let me be more clear because although I one of the things I have learned through studying chronic pain now, because I have to study because I couldn't live like that for much longer. I was scared, bro. I was like, this is not sustainable for very long, this level of suffering. Like, put me in a coma or something because I am fucking ready to fuck off. Like, fuck this. It was so horrible, bro. So, yeah, man, look, I studied a lot out of desperation trying to figure out the solution because that was one of the worst things. It was extremely stressful because I had no idea why I was in all this pain. No idea.
I mean, that's always the thing, right?
Like I had a crazy injury. I didn't have a crazy injury and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm in back pain because I just almost broke my back. Yeah, many times I have almost broke my back doing stupid shit. But nah, at this point, it had just...
There's nothing you could point at and say, this is what's causing me this pain.
At first, nah. So I was, mate, you think I was thinking about what was going on here? I was like out there thinking about moving forward an animal rights movement and getting the world to think about the animal holocaust. I was very much out there and I barely took a breath from that or had a different thought from that for the better part of a decade. I was out there, bro, and I was thinking about it. And if I wasn't speaking to someone, I was typing to someone and I was always typing to someone and I was always in this headspace.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, every time you talk about it, it seems like you were on your phone all the time, dealing with trolls and haters and
or people trying to go vegan. Yeah, not necessarily. Like, I definitely didn't respond to every single person or nothing. But like, bro, if I see something going on online where it's just a bunch of meat eaters congratulating themselves, I'm like, fuck you guys.
Yeah,
and then this can go on for. I got shit been going on for months in my notifications on IG right now. 1,000 likes and 10,000 and fucking 1,000 comments. Heaps of shit like that. So, but that's because I've been stuck on doing that because I haven't had a lot of options. So I really kind of got deep into like me against many meat eaters in many comment sections. But what I'm saying is here, it's not just I was like engaging with trolls and kind of wasting my time. A lot of it's me always trying to educate and encourage and inspire. Or make people feel like what they're saying is absolutely ridiculous and prove that to them, or people are genuinely like, tell me more. I got a DM section full of this as well. So like, I'm always busy, bro. I'm always like, something's going on. I'm checking that shit all the time.
But I think
going on.
But I think it probably
it's not just this. Oh, sorry. Let me let you go.
Well, I think you'd probably agree that like a lot of times we hear I get people the same thing. People like I went vegan because of you, or I'm thinking about things differently because of you. But the ones that develop that rage that I've heard you talk about, that rage that you start internalizing, those aren't the nice DMs that are doing that, are they?
Okay, well, they're not the nice ones, bro. But look again, like at this time, I have about 300,000 Instagram followers. I'm in the news all over the place for a multitude of things in about 4 months space.
Yeah.
Killing a puppy that actually I rescued and tried to save with vet help the entire time, and then bullshit went around me about that. This is just after actually a whole thing where apparently I drugged my wife without her knowing, and people were talking shit about people that were my friends at the time, right? Making out like I had drugged a woman. It was ridiculous. And this is after a long list of other shit in the years. And then going forward, a bunch of shit came out, like a bunch of bullshit came out. It was very tiring and frustrating to see so many people turning on me after everything. And then I'm in the news everywhere. James Aspey keeps saying this is a Holocaust. James Aspey comparing this to the Holocaust, comparing this to slavery, Right. And it's intense, bro. And then this news person's asking me these questions. I got this happening over here. I got a whole bunch of shit going on. Meanwhile, I'm suffering, as I've been suffering since I was 17. This isn't like some new shit just because of some trolls.
Right. So this is something that was exacerbated, right?
I got cancer when that's where I think the stress, chronic pain is a combination of many things, right? It can be you're stressed about this, about that, but ultimately it's many different life stresses filling up a cup. Now, I already had life stress, irrelevant of everything animal rights related, because I was in pretty much constant pain in my neck. Anybody who has known me over the years probably can tell you, he mentioned his neck pain multiple times, or he has to do this or do that, or he can't do these things because of his neck. I had a bad neck since I was 17 because when I was sick with cancer and that, my posture changed. Like that's a whole nother story. I'm never going to tell that shit. It's just too complex and deep. But the point is things changed and it led to this knock-on effect through my posture. Now, this caused pain initially bad, and I was always trying to fix it. So this was frustrating and stressful. And this happened way before I was vegan, and this happened for years into the time I was vegan. And it always sucked. But at this point, after trying to heal it so many times and getting nowhere and wasting thousands and thousands of dollars, stressing about this neck pain for so long, I was like, all right, I'm going to have to just live with this shit because I don't know how to fix it. And I got no more money to spend on this. Like, I'm getting nowhere, wasting my time going around in circles. All right, so then I meet my wife. All right, now,
at least something good's happening.
Yeah, bro. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had some good times.
Then I meet my wife.
I smiled through the pain.
And then I meet my wife. Ah, damn it.
What pain? It all went away. Nah, she inspired me too. She's like, you deserve better than this. You know, you're in pain all the time. Like, you should have a better life than this. Just don't give up. And I'd given up years ago and many, many times. I was like, all right, I could give this another shot. Sure, why not? I got someone with me who's sort of on the journey with me, who's like paying attention to how it all goes down, and two heads are better than one. Maybe we can figure this out. Maybe I can get out of this pain. But this is a little bit after all the really crazy shit started going down, right? Where I'm like out, then I'm making all these moves, and like things are really intense, dude. Yeah. And I'm feeling animal rights at this point, like so intensely. You know, I just come out of 3 nights in a slaughterhouse. I had all these videos viral of this stuff, so I'm getting all the worst kind of comments from all the worst kind of people mocking the slaughter I'd just been witnessing in real life. I just was shocked on another level. Like, I was disgusted. I went to the airport in Brisbane, and because I had vegan on my hat, I got this whole interrogation. They're going through my phone, the customs, seeing all the slaughterhouse stuff that I'd just been at the night before. You can't come in with this. I'm like, what's wrong with it? You can't come in with violent content. I go, do you eat meat? Do you eat bacon? Yeah. I go, yeah, well, what do you think happened? You get it off the shelf? This is how it happens, bro. And you're saying it's too violent, but you're going to go and buy it and pay for someone to do this to animals, and you're saying that my phone can't come into Australia?
With the customs officer?
Immigration or the customs, I don't remember. I think it was customs, yeah. So I'm like, because I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, why are you targeting me, bro? You know? and I forgot I had vegan on my hat. And at this time, heaps of, there was meat, the victims just started up. So everyone's running into farms, all these vegans, and I've been out of the country doing other shit. So when I come in and they're like, vegan, terrorist. Oh, check his phone. Oh, yeah, look at this shit. This
looks like some terrorist activity here.
I'm like, yeah, it is terrorist activity that you engage in, that you pay for. I'm trying to expose this shit. She's like, yeah, it's violent. Please stop. Stop doing this.
Please stop doing it. You're absolutely right.
Anyway, he goes, good point. Good point. All right, yeah, you're right. Fair enough. And I'm out. So I'm like, all right, yeah, well, at least that was fair.
That might have been your salesmanship again coming through. Maybe it was all your FAQs you were studying.
Hey, bro. Yeah, it probably was. It was Gary Francione speaking through me.
It was Gary.
Dude, I was frustrated. I was like, I just been in this slaughterhouse because of you idiot. Do you think I wanted to be taking these videos?
Start outreaching customs. Do you have any tips for people? So I know a lot of people have heard.
Wait, sorry, bro. Before we go on, can I just wrap that up real quick?
Yeah, I was trying to get you to. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, man. Well, then if you had something to say, go ahead. And
I was going to say
your direction.
No, go. No, please. I was gonna say. As you go through, do you have any tips for people how to deal with that? How to deal with wrapping it up, so to speak? I was seeing.
Okay, sure. Well, yeah. I can wrap it up with that. So
yeah. Look,
I've been through a lot of pain. I've been through a hell of a lot of pain the last few years. I mean, enough where I was really bad. It was an absolute nightmare. I thought I was never going to come back to activism because I thought a big part of it was because of activism. I'd already promised my friends and family I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd already said, you're right. No, I need to stop. I can't help myself. I can't stop doing this, thinking about this. It's hectic. I should stop. I thought I needed a permanent breakthrough because I was, I felt like it was a survival move at this point. I was questioning my survival very seriously. And, because I just was so lost, didn't know what to do. But it was the stress combined with this postural situation that had happened. And the combination of the two filled this cup up of chronic pain to a very serious level. And the tension in it was a vicious cycle of, I don't want to move because I'm in so much pain. And then this just got me more and more tense and more locked up. And that happened a lot, this cycle of, I can't move. Like, I'm in so much pain, I can barely get up and down off the ground. What I should have been doing is getting up off the ground and down up a lot, but I had no idea, bro. I was just like, protect myself. I'm so scared. Anything I do is horrible pain. What is wrong with me? And I was just like tense all the time, just like I had been for years, constantly arguing animal rights. It brought a lot of tension in my life,
Sure.
And then I was also at a point where I'm 8 years deep at this point, and I'm still seeing my homies from way back who haven't changed at all, but have seen everything. They've seen everything I've shown them, said it all, still going and fishing and shit. And I was just like, all right, I'm just pissed.
That's part of your story. That's the part of your story that I think speaks to so many people. And that's one that's worth telling. Like you rose quite quickly. And frankly, unfortunately, those that rise quickly often fall quickly. It's a bit volatile, right? It's just one of those things. And, but the story of I'm going through something that's medical, but at the same time I'm dealing with these mates of mine. 8 years I've been doing this. I can't convince the people closest to me to reconsider. And I think everyone in the chat, I think most vegans understand exactly that sentiment, And that's why I was asking, how do we navigate that so we don't become the person in the corner tensing up and frozen? How do I avoid that pothole?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And look, it's interesting because I was telling people how to avoid this pothole for years. That was a huge part of what I was doing out in the world. Come to people, don't blame them. They're not the enemy.
Hate the sin,
manipulation.
Not the
Yeah, hate the sin, not the sinner. The manipulation is the industry, is the enemy. The lies we've been told is the enemy. This conditioning that animals don't matter is the enemy. These people are victims of that. They don't know any better, just like I didn't. You got to remember all this. You got to also realize what works best, And for the most people, look, this is where I start getting a bit lost because I have multiple theories that they don't really fit. Sometimes I feel it's because I feel like many approaches are necessary and it changes depending on who you're talking to and things like that. So overall, I think if I could just say everybody do something, nah, it doesn't even make sense if I say that. I think generally what works with people to stay peaceful and calm is to be peaceful and calm, educate, encourage, inspire. If you can remember those 3 words, I think your activism and your interactions will probably have a really great progress. But I did that for many years, educating people, encouraging people, inspiring people, and that was my mantra. And after a while, I realized this didn't work for everybody. So I feel like they need to be shamed. And that's where I started adding that to the tool belt, being like, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. This is sick. This is disgusting. You are acting like brainwashed zombies eating corpses all the time. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? How many more dead bodies do you have to see? How many more slaughters do you have to witness before you understand this is violent, cruel, and wrong, and you're not a violent, cruel person? You know, the math ain't mathing, bro. Dude, stop it. Go vegan. We got fucking meat. What are you worried about? You know, we got everything you need. So that's why I was like, this. Everybody doing, a lot of people doing it the way I was doing it. That base is covered. I feel like I got to go in a different direction. You know, it was a strategy that I decided to employ. I know Melanie Joy's got her studies on how people were supposed to go vegan and shit. I respect it. But I just felt like it was necessary for me to do. I saw a lot of popular people being vegan, and I didn't see anybody really saying what I feel like a lot of us are thinking, but we're filtering it through how do we be effective advocates? Say it kindly, say it nicely. Right. But really, I'm like, this is a fucking Holocaust. You're all acting like Hitler, like, you know, etc.
Right. I couldn't agree more. I think there's enough people doing it the nice guy way. And sometimes I'll engage in those like leafleting and shit like that. And now, because, you know, professionally, I'll do all that stuff. But like, I'm not into that nice guy activism most of the time. I want a megaphone. I want to start yelling and screaming, because
makes sense, dude. That's what we do if it was humans.
If it were humans,
screaming.
Yeah, and we know that to be true because in the United States we fought a war over it, but also in the 1830s when the UK abolished slavery, human slavery, it wasn't popular. It was something that was very controversial. It was something that from the beginning was controversial, and people argued about it for millennia until they finally fucking did the right thing. And you can't legislate racism out, but you can legislate slavery away. You know, you could do something about it, and people screamed and people died for that cause. And I don't know. I'm with you on that completely. Like I think shame is a powerful tool, and it's one that's being left in the shed too often on a great number of things these days.
I completely agree, and you're totally right. It is powerful. It's not just an added tool. It's something that really makes people you shouldn't eat meat. Yeah, it's like slap across the face. Like, oh, yes, you kind of shook him a little bit. Hey, it's like watching slaughterhouse.
You need
footage.
to be
It's a bit of a some people, not everybody, and that's great for everybody else. Be as kind as you can, but if you got to match people, if you're being kind and they're not getting nowhere, okay, I'm gonna have to try something different with all the love, really, because I just want you to be vegan, bro. I just want you to stop killing. And it's good for you to actually care about you, even though it might sound like I'm about to get pissed off at you. But, you know, and then you engage in something a little more direct.
Totally. I might be pissed, but I think that my faith in humanity is not suspect whatsoever, because my faith in humanity is that when confronted with new information, the human being might actually be able to align their actions with their values. And I still have that faith, or else I wouldn't do what I do. I still have faith.
And it happens all the time, you know. It happened to you and it happened to me.
Absolutely.
But it is, I must say, it is shocking. One of the biggest shocks I've had becoming vegan. It is astounding how few people are like, yeah, you're right, I'm going to go vegan.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Like that. I have belief in humanity. I care about people a lot. That's why I make the effort. Yeah. But, mate, the amount of letdowns were way out of whack compared to what I was expecting. I thought everybody would be like, this is amazing. We live longer. We don't kill animals. You guys have vegan meat even? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
No brainer. Obviously. Why do you sign me up, bro? Where do I get my tattoo?
That's true too. Like I remember when I first went vegan, I thought like, because I lived near the ocean, there was a lot of surfers. I'm from where the Surfrider Foundation comes from, and Dana Point, it's a famous surf destination, and
I thought that all these people that cared so much about the ocean, if I made the environmental argument for plant-based lifestyle,
Yeah.
that of course they would care, because they care so much about the ocean. They're doing all of
Their
they're
favorite
donating,
place.
yes, and they're donating all this time and money to saving the
Uh-huh.
ocean. And I'm like, motherfucker, here's a way to do it right now. No.
But they're just fish, bro. I had this literally yesterday with a surfer. I'm like, dude, I just looked at your profile. You love surfing. I commented on, it was this granddad on Unilad or something, fishing, some wholesome moment shit. I'm like, this isn't a fucking wholesome moment. This guy's abusing animals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so there's like 1,000 comments under this shit, and I'm me, the only dude responding to all the shit. So it's like, it's been a crazy situation actually over the last month. And anyway, this surfer guy, I go, bro, are you kidding me right now? Like, so you love the ocean, but all the animals in it, fuck them, cut their heads off. That's how you feel about it? This sounds ridiculous. And he's like, yeah, cut their heads off. They're just fish.
And by cutting their heads off,
idiot,
you're
bro.
fucking the ocean. Yes. Like they don't. That's what I mean. Some people are fucking idiots, and that's something that.
And I am in many ways, but like on this topic, we are spot on.
Yeah, and I Noam Chomsky, famous non-vegan, who's apparently, you know, he's a big thinker and everything. He's got big ideas, but he's a non-vegan. It's very disappointing. But Noam Chomsky talks about how like 20% of the 20% of humanity, you know, they're the agenda setters, they're the professors and the legislators, they're the people who are kind of this agenda setting class, and that everybody else is 80% of the world is just, they just get pushed into doing whatever they say. It's just 80% just goes along with the flow, stays quiet, keeps their head down, goes along with
conflicts, doesn't want to engage in anything like that. Throw the ball around. I'll choose this team. You choose that team. Let's have fun.
That's what they want. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's sad. And like, man, you know, it's been really eye-opening because, as I said, you know, some friends and homies. Now, first I want to just say one more point on that is that as I changed, so did some of them. And I was like, I knew that's what you fucking needed. I had to step it up. Me just being sort of kind of giving you a bad look if you're eating meat wasn't enough. So like it had to get legit.
Is that your bad look, Jay? That's your bad look?
It's like, I don't know. It's probably worse because my look is like me trying to not make them feel too bad because this is just strategy shit. But inside I'm like, you bastard. Like,
I'm not interested in that strategy shit. Like everyone. I'm gonna talk a little shit right now. This is the vegan after dark. But and I'm not inviting you to talk shit. But
I'm gonna talk shit too. What is it?
All right, someone who's been disappointing me a lot lately, especially because he's been vegan for long enough to fucking know better at this point, is Ed Winters. I've read his first book, and he keeps doing these things. He gets on TV, and they ask him point blank, okay, why should we all be vegan? And he tells them antibiotic resistance. That's the first word out of his mouth, and I can't stomach that type of shit. And it's like, and everyone says, well, he has to package it in such a way because he's being strategic for the audience and blah, blah, blah. But man, I'm over that. Fuck that. We don't have time to be talking about antibiotic resistance. I don't give a shit about antibiotics resistance. I don't give two shits about it. I mean,
go on, man.
Well, I was going to say,
brother,
not to go on my, but like you were
Can I respond? If you're about to move on?
Yeah, I was going to say I was going to compare to you, where you were a physical fitness guy. You were what do you call those guys? A PT, personal trainer, right? A personal trainer. And I've never heard you sit there and go off for hours about different types of cholesterol and nutrition as an argument to go vegan. And that's what I'm talking about.
I totally understand where you're coming from. First of all, I am extremely interested in health, and I was a personal trainer for about 7 years. Before that, I was a black belt for around the same time. So, you know, all this I'm a lifelong passionate for health. I had cancer. This has all guided me, and it was what got me on my journey of thinking about animal rights in a way. It was you know, a personal karma thing, and then the health benefits, and then animal rights. But no, I don't talk about it because compare it to 3 trillion Earthlings being holocausted every year.
Yes.
Who cares if you humans live 10 years longer? What I'll say about what you said about Ed, you know, you started it in a way, I can't remember what you said, but I just couldn't agree with it because, and you probably didn't mean this, and I'm just picking on your words a little bit, but I think we can both agree we love Ed. Ed has fucking put out so much good shit. He's done so much good shit. There's been a couple of times where I've seen something from Ed. I felt exactly the same as you. I've commented it to him or maybe DM'd it to him a couple of times where, I remember one actually. He was asked if he would outlaw meat if he could. It was just a random quick question in an interview on TV. And he said, no, I think we should all be educated and make the decision kind of thing. And I said to him, or I just commented maybe, if I was asked that question, I would say, fuck yeah, that shit should be outlawed, just like raping women and child abuse should be outlawed. It should be outlawed, yes. But you know, like, and maybe he doesn't really feel that way. Maybe he didn't think about it in the moment. Maybe he hadn't thought about it before. Maybe he does think that way. I don't know. And then when it comes to the other stuff of like, yeah, this is an opportunity to talk about animal rights. I'm just speculating, but animal rights has said that so many times. And Earthling Ed has said that so many times. Yeah, that's, you know, given that animal rights speech, that maybe he's interested in trying a few new tactics that are kind of hot and trending, like the antibiotic resistance thing. He's like, well, maybe. I know I can talk about animal rights next time, but can I talk about antibiotic resistance? It's a hot topic right now. Maybe he's just going for it, something like that.
Yeah. I think I love that
in the moment as well.
No, I think you said it perfectly because it made me reconsider a little bit. Like I said, I do like Ed Winters. I watch every piece of content he puts out and all of that. But like in the last,
if you don't like Ed, you're not a vegan. That's my thing.
Well, yeah. It's just the last couple of TV appearances. I was like, what the fuck?
It can be frustrating, man. Seeing other people do it when you're like, I would have said this.
Yeah, right. Because that's all I do, right? I'm sitting.
Yeah, you're in it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I'm deep, and so
You take that exact same opportunity if it came to you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you watch people do it, and you're like, I would have done a way better job.
Yeah, but I would say
fine. That's great.
But here's the thing, though. If I had said something that I was like, I would have. I love the idea that I love the idea that he's just trying out new material. He's working through some. He's like a stand-up comic working out some new material.
Hey, that's what I did in my speeches, bro. I did like hundreds of speeches. Every now and then I'd throw in a different fact or a different this or different that, see how it landed, see how it rolled. And eventually, like Yurovsky's speech, mine got polished too. But at one point, I was trying to, with many jokes, you know, I was saying the laughter, the jokes were making people stay engaged, even if they weren't interested. They were like, what's the next funny thing going to be? Right. And then it turned into a fucking comedy show, bro, my speech. At one point, I was like, this is too funny now. I need to dial it back because this is serious shit. We shouldn't laugh the whole way through. Like, this isn't a comedy show. This is an animal rights speech.
Well, that's one of the things. I'm not a religious person, but I grew up in the church, and I realized that the best pastors, the best priests, they're always ones that can mix in a little bit of scholarly, a little bit of humor, and a little bit of that old fire and brimstone. When they get those things together, it's a powerful, moving lesson. And I think that's what you get when you're out on the road doing those things and doing it as often as you do. What do you think about the other thing, the other kind of main form of activism everyone's now being exposed to, which are these documentaries? We have the Netflix documentaries. There's a new one. I'm sure you might have already seen. Have you seen Cashpey yet?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Did it blow your mind? Did it make you? Any hot takes?
I have a lot of thoughts on Cashpey. First of all, I hope, you know, we can only hope, but based on the content, I think it's going to get a huge conversation started. I hope a worldwide conversation started, because going at religion is very smart. That is a big club. That is a big cult. And, you know, they said some things that is just going to have to get people thinking and asking questions. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see how the religious leaders handle it, you know, when they're like you may have seen the sort of phrase going around, how would Jesus kill an animal?
Right.
You know? Would he slit their throat? Like, so I don't know. It's got some, and it's a great documentary. It's full of information. I watched it once and I was like, okay, I'm going to need to watch that again and again because, whoa, like, is this what happened? Did they say this? Like, it was big. Big bombshells, man, because there's so much to pack in. They're sort of like boom, 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 telling this 2,000-year-old story.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about it. So first of all, it's an excellent documentary, maybe one of the best ever in this realm. I think, just because I think it's going to be powerful. Hitting religion is so smart.
Yeah,
it's going to get all the religious people interested, and they're going to be like challenged to watch it. And
they're going to at least have to comment. Yeah.
It's going to be a big conversation, bro, especially if it's like on, somewhere big. And if it does the rounds, no doubt it's going to be big. Just will it get the eyes on it? And that's the question that we won't know until it happens. But I think it's got all the pieces of the puzzle to definitely make that happen. But on top of that, as you said, you're not a religious person. Neither am I. I think religion's absolutely ridiculous. Does it have some benefits? Yeah, it does have some benefits maybe. But the thing I think that's ridiculous about it isn't you get together as a community or anything. It's that the foundation of it is a bunch of fairy tales that adults think is true, and I think that's fucking stupid as fuck.
Yeah, it's the invisible world.
Dumb.
Yeah,
it's all unprovable shit that people believe with a massive lack of evidence, and I think it's really bad. It shows
it's weird
lack
too.
of critical thinking, man. And it leads to a bunch of bullshit people justifying violent actions. It's a huge division between this religion, that religion. Everyone's got different things. Everyone thinks they got the word of God. None of yous do. It's all shit written by man. There's nothing special about it. And it's just a huge worldwide delusion. I think it's absolutely stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's a book written by guys sitting around a table drinking wine. And all these books are. But I guess what's most shocking to me when you said it's adults who think it's true, it's adults who think something's true, but the idea of a parable is entirely wasted on them, which is shocking because it's literally a book of parables. It's fairy tales. The fairy tales is perfect because I've read all of Grimm's fairy tales. I have a degree in German, and we read all of them. And guess what they're all about? They're all about teaching lessons, teaching ideas between right and wrong.
Cool.
That's right. Cool. That's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that.
No one needs to kill each other over it.
Nah, you don't have to claim it's the word of God because it says that it's the word of God. I would rather talk about one of people. Yeah, like it's just dumb, man.
But back to that hierarchy we got. Yeah.
It's real sad. It's real distracting. Anyway, the point I want to just quickly make about it, if you don't mind, bro, about Christspiracy is that when I first heard about this idea years ago from Kip, I was like, Christspiracy, and in my head, because this has been a big passion of mine to learn about the cults of religion, because so many people use that to justify slashing animals' throats open.
Yes, they do.
So obviously it's become a big passion of mine, sidelined to promoting animal rights and veganism. And when he told me years ago, Christspiracy, I was like, you're going to come after religion? Like, you're going to tell them how ridiculous it is? You're going to show and prove that there's no evidence for these massive claims? Oh my God, this is going to be the best documentary of all time. I can't wait. Yes. That people are going to think they're so dumb, and they're going to realize that God never said, you should eat animals. Eating animals is fine now. Yeah, you sinned when the talking snake and the apple, and so now it's fine now. Kill my creation. So I thought it was going after religion, and I was like, that is big and ballsy, bro. Epic. And then I watched a documentary, and it was very much playing to religious people, here's what we all believe, and this is actually, you'll see. But and that's great. I'm not against that. I think cool. That's a really important documentary. It's just not the one I was excited for.
Yeah. Well, maybe have you seen Religulous by
that's what helped me, bro, when I was struggling. When I was like 21, man, I was absolutely lost with religion. And then I watched that documentary, and I was like, I can't believe I've been confused about this. This is so obvious now. Wow, stupid.
Yeah, it's still, and it holds up. I kind of want to rewatch it. He just produced a 6-part docu-series with PETA called The Failed Experiment, and I think it's extremely well made. It's 6 10-minute episodes, and it's free on YouTube now, but it's about vivisection, and Bill Maher produced it, and it's got me thinking about Religulous. Yeah, it's great. And
wow, that's amazing, bro.
It's Yeah, I think it's worth. I think it's really worth. Vegan. It's one of those ones where I think non-vegans and vegans can watch it and really get something out of it, because vivisection
Mm.
isn't something that we talk enough about. I think, and
So true, mate. So true.
you
Yeah.
know, it's so
Big
heinous.
time.
It's
Yeah,
it's
it's like
rough.
fish. It's like
Hmm.
when we talk about the number of animals slaughtered each year, but we don't include fish. I
Yeah,
hate when people do that. Like, what do you
yeah.
mean 7 billion? What about the trillions of sea animals?
Well, it's a
Why are we
hard
just
one
talking about the
because
land? The earth is everything.
I'll say 100 billion land animals plus 2 trillion sea life, and it's like even then I feel, because the number's so big, it's fucking unfathomable.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But
Yeah,
I never break it up. I'm like 3 trillion, 3 trillion. You
that's a
know,
good.
I mean, yeah, there's differences between the animals, but they're all sentient beings, and the
Yeah,
death toll is the same.
yeah, you're right. And I talk with a lot of Americans though, and so a lot of times I'll say like there's numbers that are in my head. 110 million
Oh yeah,
animals
yeah,
killed
yeah.
in
Local to your
vivisection
country.
experiments in America alone. 110
Well, that's
million
what
a
I'm
year.
saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. I had no idea of that number. That's actually way more than I thought.
Mhm.
And it's the thing that people don't give time to, don't understand.
And those
You know,
animals are
I
enduring a
say,
suffering that is fucking
oh,
unspeakable.
man.
We're talking Dr. Mengele. You talk about Holocaust, Dr. Mengele type shit going on, and it's
Yeah,
like,
like the worst shit that guy didn't even get to think of.
yeah, hmm
Just yeah, you're right. Like, mate, anyone can get behind a story of not. What's an example? Give me an example, bro, of like
not
a horrific.
hammering a monkey in the head and with a literal carpenter's hammer to see if he'll still love his mommy afterwards, or giving mice taking 10 mice, giving 5 of them antidepressants, and to see which ones swim longer before they just all drown. All of them are going to drown.
Very important.
And yeah, but they'll give some of them antidepressants to see if they'll give up a little bit later before it's fucking
Very, very. I can see how that's extremely important for humans. Yeah,
fucking
personally. And
insane
50,
shit.
50. Yeah, that is fucking. That's evil, bro. That's
Yeah.
evil. And 50% of those experiments don't even cross over to humans in the later trials anyway.
50
everyone.
It's 98% fail rate to human transition. 98% fail. 98%.
I heard just the other day it was 50.
No, it's fucking
98? Oh my god, this is
98%.
fucking mental, bro.
Yeah, it's 98%. Because think about, like, we've cured AIDS in monkeys, we've cured cancer in rats, but none of that translates to us. Because guess what?
Well, it's
Rats
hard
and
to
monkeys.
cure cancer when you keep eating the same diet that caused
Well,
it.
that's true too. That's true too.
But
Gorick
yeah,
says
that's fucked up. I didn't know it was 98. I can't believe
98 fucking
that's gonna
percent.
be that's money laundering or some shit, bro.
Well,
For
yeah,
them
it is.
to waste all that money, 98%
Yeah,
on something
it's
that never doesn't pan out. Nah, that's fucking some
yeah, it's
other
it's
level corruption.
18
shit.
billion $18 billion a year that we're spending. I mean, the money is crazy too. Like the money that goes to it.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
something there with that, like filling people's pockets and just wasting fucking time.
And the documentary goes into it, and it's 10-minute segments, so it doesn't get too fucking intense, and it's not like a ton of
That's good.
footage. It's like it's really good. I'm recommending it to everybody right now.
I should probably watch it as much as I don't want to.
I think you would enjoy it though, because it's educational, but it's not like watching Dominion. It's not like I'm getting traumatized by watching it. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I still probably won't enjoy it, but I'll still watch it anyway.
Yeah.
The topic is vivisection, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Gorick put €5 in the pot. Was der Bäuer nicht kennt, frisst er nicht. What the farmer doesn't know, he won't eat. Yeah.
Well, that's crazy in itself. Like, I just posted this video. I don't know if you saw it on my Instagram. I don't know if I did it today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah. It was a farmer. I want to read this in a sec if you can. Oh, let me just read it real quick now.
Oh, no, it's...
This was watching first. I'll read it later. So, what was I saying, bro? What was I saying?
The
farmer. The other guy. Right.
Yeah.
The farmer and I can't remember, dude. What did he say again?
What the farmer doesn't know, he doesn't
right.
know.
So this farmer, she's like, look at our cows, look at our Happy
Oh
Healthy
yes. Oh, I
Cows,
saw that. Yeah, yeah.
you know. And
Uh-huh.
then Danny from Lifting Vegan Logic had changed her background green screen kind of vibe where she's like, look at our cows. And it's a very popular image of a bunch of cows who've just been slaughtered and are hanging upside down by their ankles.
This is evil. No, it's not. And she's like,
Nah, see, what's wrong with this? She's pointing to a
wrong with this?
slaughterhouse now. It's fucking
Yeah.
brilliant work by that guy. He's the best. I love that dude. If you aren't following, anyone watching this ain't following Danny from Lifting Vegan Logic.
Everyone knows Lifting Danny Logic. Yeah, we talk about him a lot actually. He's
perfect. Yeah, he's a guru, bro.
I tried to get him to have lunch with me in Miami, but he didn't respond. But
I'll put in a good word for you, mate.
I'm touring Florida.
Cool. Well, he's in Canada though, no? Oh, maybe he's not actually. But anyway, let me just say, bro. So onto that person's thing. Yeah. The person was saying the farmer doesn't eat what they don't know. Well, it's kind of crazier to eat someone you did know that some of them think they're caring for them and feeding them and scratching them and all this shit.
I totally agree. It's the same guy.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to read this shit at the same time.
Being defensive and hateful toward the dog.
You know, man, it's funny. Like I've heard people saying that. Oh, it's just one bad day. We treat them good. It's one bad day, and then that's better, right? Like, there's a good thing of putting a tortured animal out of their misery. Sure, that's put them out of their misery. But also, there's the thing of, so you're going to kill a happy animal? You're going to kill an animal that's living a good life and then just murder someone with a lot of positive well-being? That's also fucked.
Yeah, I mean, you've spent enough time on farms to see. Like, I've spent a lot of time on farms, and it's just driving around America too, and it looks bucolic and quaint when you see them out grazing on the fields. But then the trucks come, and the trucks take them to a place that isn't like that. It's a horror show, and when you see the CAFOs firsthand, and then the slaughterhouses, when you see it all happen, it's undeniable that we're committing a horrible atrocity. It's just undeniable, and it goes back to what you said.
There's no debate. There's no debate. I always say that when I'm talking to people now. This isn't a debate. I'm educating you on something you're wrong about. There's nothing to debate here. Animal rights, bro. Like, logical extension of human rights. We're not arguing whether slaughter is right or wrong. I'm just trying you to get to realize that you are wrong.
Right. Well, I want you to realize
anything. Like, I've been where you are. That's a stupid fucking position to hold.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you how Santa Claus doesn't exist. I equate it to that so much, because if every little boy and girl had to go through, a time when they were 3 years old, or I don't know how old you are, 5 years old, when you find out that Santa Claus doesn't exist. But imagine if the entire world was complicit in keeping you stupid and thinking that Santa Claus did exist. Which gets us back to religion, I guess, in a way. I wanted to talk.
That's all I'm thinking about. As you're talking about
before we go, I want to ask you about crypto, because so much of your story has something to do with crypto at this point.
I don't think so, bro. I did many years. Nah, I made a couple of little crypto moves. A lot of people got all weird about it and thought I did something shady when I didn't. And that's the end of crypto for me. I don't have much else to say about crypto.
Well, my question actually wasn't about
part of my. Oh, okay. So go ahead.
My question actually was: are you still gonna? Is crypto dead for you? Are you still in it? Are NFTs dead? Are you interested in any of that world anymore? Because people know your story, and they've already the verdict. Everyone has already declared you guilty or innocent. They'll never get their minds changed either way. People
They will. I got a lot of things, in the future where I think people will be like, whoa, maybe I had the wrong idea about that guy. But it'll happen when it happens. But a lot of people have like, James, I heard that he did this or did that, and cool, whatever, guys.
People say pump and dump, they don't know what it fucking means. They don't know what that even fucking means.
They don't know what it means. They're spreading the fuck. Oh, he did a pump and up. What's that? Try to explain it. You ask 99% of those people, I bet they have no idea what a pump and up is or how
this is something
like that.
I was involved in NFTs more than crypto. Like, I have a little bit of crypto, and I'm very interested and curious about it. I wasn't into it to the point you were, but I've always been I was an early investor in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I love the whole NFT thing. I think NFTs are an incredible way to build community, and I see them as still maybe someday soon the opportunity.
Sure.
The opportunity might present itself.
Yeah, I was just talking about this yesterday about NFTs. They came, they went, and a lot of people are kind of looking stupid now because they were really hyping NFTs. But the use cases are still being
there.
understood and still there. The ones that already people do understand. And yeah, man, it's going to be a long shift from analog kind of thing, or like from digital to crypto, or from paper to crypto. It ain't just going to happen because there's a pump on Bitcoin or something. Like, it's just going to, the US dollar ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Shit's going to take time. So,
and it's a coin now too. You can buy a US dollar coin.
Yeah, you can buy USD. But it's all pegged on the USD. It's all pegged on the USD, just like Bitcoin. So I think, I'm not interested in NFTs. I just didn't have I was focused on other things when that kind of boom was going on. But yeah, I was just saying yesterday, I think sure they'll make a comeback and things will happen and there'll be different news happen or some new trend or something for sure. Well, maybe, probably. And in terms of other cryptos, I'm not interested in crypto so much right now, actually. I am interested in it, but I'm more focused on other things. And right now, like with all the drama I've been through of sharing certain things about finances, I'd love to share, bro, because for the same reason I shared last time, I'm trying to help vegans, as I always have on this whole journey, right? And I gave information. I said, look, this is what I'm doing. I think it's a good move. And within about 3 weeks, 3.5x. Now, I had a good reason why I thought it was going to do that, all right? A very good reason. It did what I thought. It wasn't my video that pumped this coin that had hundreds of millions of dollars market cap.
Yeah.
They think my first ever discussion of crypto is like, boom, all right, everyone invest. Everyone's investing millions from my
you were such a mover and shaker that you
oh yeah, bro, I'm a market maker, bro. The world. Like, just sit back and watch what I do.
You're the whale. You're the whale.
Yeah, exactly. Of course not. I was like, I know a lot of people won't be interested in this. This is all I thought. And I was very rushed with all this. So I'm like, I want to tell people, all right, just tell them what's going on. Most people won't be interested, but there might be some who will get a big benefit from this. Okay. So that was my theory. I was like, this is going to be popular at all. I'm going to make a quick video and I tell people like what I'm doing. Some, very few, if any, are going to be like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. That sounds good. All right. Now, yeah, as I said, it was hundreds of millions of dollars that would have had to push that market cap to do anything. It did 3.5x. Anyone who did decide it was a good idea for them would have been very happy. And then, like everything, when they took like over $1 trillion out of the crypto market cap, when there was just a few trillion in there, everything crashed. Not just the thing that I mentioned. So,
the whole world was
like, it is what it is. It's not that I dumped the coin. It's not that I pumped it and then dumped it. Like that's not fucking anywhere near what happened. I was trying to help vegans like I always am, and some did get helped. And I haven't heard of a single person who got burned from that. Because who would?
That's the thing. That's what's so funny.
I'm just making someone known about a thing that did extremely fucking well.
I've heard the crypto story and the James Aspey crypto story so many times, and I've never heard it from someone who actually invested. I've never heard it from someone who actually got burned. I've never heard it from. I lost my house because of James Aspey. I've never heard that.
There's not a single victim out there, bro. I would have heard from them. I haven't heard from anybody.
But I'll tell you, like I remember when I was pushing NFTs, I was making NFTs. I was onboarding people. I was very into it. I was working for an artist who was making all of his money on NFTs at some point. And people were like, how could you be vegan and into NFTs? How is that even I'm like, what the fuck are you no, I'm into this. I think it's cool. I think there's opportunities to build communities around it. I see people building NFT communities. It's really cool. And it was polarizing.
What's it got to do with animal ethics? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
So
people try to make it about the environment.
Breaching in every realm, including what's popping off currently, and at that time, NFTs. Get on board, bro. Get a vegan in there as well that might 1,000x their investment. Great, a richer vegan. That's what we want.
So yeah, well, true. But I mean, so obviously. There was. So I'm angling towards. Are you still into it at all, or you're like nah, I'm onto other shit. I'm onto the next.
I'm super interested in investing.
Yeah,
like that. Every day I'm on about it, working, doing shit. I'm fascinated. All right, I love it, and there's some really exciting stuff happening. But in terms of crypto, I'm a little bit more interested in like regulated spaces, because crypto is fucking
It's
wild
though.
west.
Yeah.
Totally,
So,
bro. And I'm trying to stay out of that. But I don't regret any of the moves I made, actually. That all went good.
good. So sometimes when I hear you talk about this idea of investment and becoming, amassing wealth in order to do better things with it than you've seen other people do with it, it starts sounding a little bit like SBF. It starts sounding a lot like effective altruism. And I wondered, did SBF kill this? Is it something that, because he's a famous vegan who was talking about amassing a lot of wealth and trying to do a lot of.
Apparently he's vegan. I don't know
Well,
if I believe that, but anyway.
I don't know if I believe a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. He said vegan. I understand him never talk about animal rights, so maybe
Right.
he eats mostly plants.
Well, he did.
Whatever. Anyway,
he did in the way that because the only time I've ever heard of him talk about animal rights was not in so many words, but it sounded a lot like Peter Singer talks about animal liberation and the idea that if we make enough money, we can actually start pushing the agenda a different way when it comes to the liberation of animals. So that was definitely
maybe
something.
He was. I actually didn't know that.
Something in the realm of some of the things when you talk about amassing wealth and making these investments and hoping to do better things, it smacks a little bit of Sam Bankman-Fried, and I wonder if you can kind of elucidate us a little bit about what your goals are when it comes to the wealth aspect and what you want to do, I guess, in the future.
Well, first off, let me just try to understand why you're making that comparison, because as you're saying that guy's name, you're sort of wincing. Like, it sounds a little bit like this. Now, it sounds a little bit like this in a shady way.
No.
Okay, you just
not shady. Maybe not shady, but
understand.
SBF is in jail right now, right? So I'm cautiously making a comparison with someone who I really believed in and who I actually thought was doing, because he did talk about amassing wealth and doing the right thing with it.
Well, let me just say this. Sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Actually.
No, and I wonder if his fall makes it more difficult to think about those things and kind of where you're at with it. I guess
okay.
I
had no idea his moves or what he was interested in doing with money, and I'll give you a little bit of an idea of some things I've got. But the difference between this guy and me is he is promoting some fucking scam. Like, he rugged the shit and, a lot of billions of dollars, right? Where me, I say, guys, I have an opportunity. If anyone has ever wanted to donate, now would be a good time. Okay. Yeah. That's all the information I'm giving. So take it, let's see what comes in. $6,000 come in within three and a half months, or within about 3 months, I'd donated through live streams from crypto 3.5 times that amount of money, which is all there's receipts for all of that, right? And then that was the end of me with that journey. So it was not like after that I kept asking people for donations,
right? I'm not asking you to defend that at all. I'm sorry if I came off that way. I
wasn't sure, so I just thought I would defend it anyway, because I wasn't sure if you were trying to sort of make some comparison with. He was doing something shady, but
no, definitely not. That's not what I'm saying, because what I have written down, I was like, well, a lot of what you sounds like a lot of when you talk about wealth management and wealth investment and these ideas of amassing wealth in order to make a difference for the animals. It sometimes sounds like effective altruism. One of the biggest names in effective altruism happens to be Sam Bankman.
Altruism.
Okay,
it is. But it's not specifically tied to that organization at all. It's my own personal. Following my own personal joy with it. I like this activist. Here's some cash. Great idea for a campaign. Go make it happen.
Yeah.
Invest in this vegan meat company. They're going to kill it. What other vegan businesses are there? What other activisms need help? This person needs to come out of jail or fight a trial where he liberated an animal. And then, there's like my own personal activism things that I want to invest in and all just that's more the vibe, bro. Transitioning factory farms or slaughterhouses into potentially green energy systems or some sort of ethical farming just food crops, plant crops, all this stuff. And then a million more things on top of that, funding documentaries and who knows, bro, like sponsoring bodybuilders. Just, I don't know. There's That's the thing, bro. There's endless ideas, limited money. The more money you got, the more people can do what they can do. I'm not going to just like feed it all to me to what can I do with activism? And like I only have a certain amount of ideas and I only need a certain amount of money for them. But this guy's got a mad idea. That guy's got a mad idea. He's been killing it lately. He could use a better camera. You know, this person needs a whole fucking building to do their shit. Like money, bro. We need so much money.
We do need more money. I
lobbying. I don't know, like getting all that shit, making laws passed and doing studies, funding studies on health things with veganism. Like, bro, we need trillions of dollars.
We need trillions of dollars. I mean, when you talk about the grocery industry is $1 trillion industry a year, and it's just one industry that is involved in animal agriculture. You're absolutely right. And if that's who we're up against, it is always going to be, how do we get this war chest? How do we get this war chest filled? Right. Yeah. I mean,
we need money, bro.
We do
so much, so much. And what's fucking annoying about that, right, is that the few people out there who are like, I'm going to dedicate my life to animal rights. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to post videos, or I'm going to become a lawyer. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then there's all these fucking people around, making money off the animals.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're just in this for the money and the fame. And all this fucking shit. You shouldn't have a Patreon. Why are you getting paid for that? You know, I know this activist that does more than you and they don't get paid for it. And all this shit. It's like, I wish they were. I wish everybody was. Don't attack the people who are making it work. That's fucking dumb. Support them. Go. If you think they're doing a good job, good work. You're spreading the vegan message. That's all I care about. You don't see me ever talking shit about other activists, but I guarantee you see a lot talking shit about me.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit talking in the vegan movement, and sometimes I think it's healthy. Sometimes I think it's painful. But to scrutinize our leaders, or to scrutinize the people who are actually doing it, that's how we keep from becoming a cult. That's how we keep from becoming.
I don't think it's bad. I'm talking specifically about money here, right? I mean, it's also good to stay on top of things with money, but also I got my own money. It's my money. Like people, the other day, someone's like, you're doing this, you're at a party, or you're smoking weed on the couch with like the animals' money kind of thing. That's what we're talking about. I've volunteered for all those years. I didn't get paid for those speeches or any of that shit. And what money I did manage to make work for me is my money. I earn that money through whatever way. So nothing I'm spending is anybody else's money, including the very animals I've been fighting for this whole time. People are so wrong about it. And it makes people feel scared to be an activist, or like they're not going to make it. Like, I want to be an activist, but I'm kind of not supposed to make money being an activist. And it's broken, bro. And I wonder if that idea is infiltrated from the very people that we're trying to stop.
Well, it's
stupid.
Well, that and the fact that it's turned into, that's like a religious point of view, right? Like an oath of poverty that you need to take in order to stay. Like we're all let's all wear black too, and no one has sex, and we'll
exactly. What are we doing here? Why can't vegans be rich? You should want vegans to be the richest people on earth. Then they'll make some serious changes with that shit.
You'd absolutely.
That's what I want.
You'd think so, and not even at least be able to afford to pay rent. I mean, like,
mate, that would be nice. It's tough for most of us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a full-time
Tough,
activist,
bro.
and I struggle, and so I have a YouTube channel, and you know, the YouTube channel, it pays for itself at this point. It's doing okay, you know, for as small as it is, and for how long I've been doing it, I'm pretty happy with what's going on. I'm super grateful for everyone who subscribes. Don't forget to like the video if anybody's watching, and you know, I'm very grateful for everyone who puts a penny in the pot. But it's very strange because, like, I work for PETA full time. I work my 40 hours a week and then some, and I draw a paycheck for it. I'm supposed to feel bad about that paycheck? Like, this is all I do. I have a fucking mortgage. I have shit that I got to pay for. I got insurance. You're
doing an extremely important job. Why are people grateful for that? You could have chosen to do anything else, but you're doing something.
I left a lucrative
animal
career.
rights, suffering. Yeah. There you go. Me too. I barely made any money doing all my shit. You know, once I learned how to work social media a bit better, but I was killing it on my cruise ship. I was in the top of the fleet of sales, how much money I was making. I killed it on that shit. and before my own business for years as a personal trainer. I made way more money doing that. So like, you know, and then people make you feel guilty about getting $1 from a person once a month here and there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Or Jackie
expect me to
Boyle
buy
just gave
vegan
us
food with?
$10.
Jackie Boyle.
Thank you,
legend.
Jay. Thank
She
you,
gets
Jackie
it.
Boyle.
She gets
it.
Appreciate
Exactly.
It goes a long way, man. It goes a long way. And it's not like you got a very small niche, mate, you know, veganism. Like not most people want to hear about that. And there's not many people out there talking about it. There's not compared to anything else that's like a popular thing or a trend. There's like so few vegans online. I wish there's 1,000 times more. So you're one of them, and still being one of the only few on here, you probably not paying all your bills from it. You know, I hope you do someday. I wish you were already, but like, fucking, it's not like that.
Nowhere near. No, I'm grateful because doing the YouTube channel and everything is what got me involved. I was doing, you know, grassroots stuff and doing, you know, activism in the streets. And I was able to score a really cool job with PETA where I'm still in the streets, traveling America. I'm staying in a pretty decent hotel right now. But I also stay in a lot of roach motels. You know, I'm doing the work, and I'm super grateful for it. Because not enough people, what you said was so, I think, salient to what I'm really all about, which is trying to get people off the couch and into activism. I want to get you, and even if you can't get off the couch, I don't want to be ableist about this, fucking start posting videos, start resharing videos, start doing something, get into the game. But so many people are afraid of getting into the game because of exactly. And I think that's something that people can really learn from your story, and the fact that you're so candid about it on the recent interviews you've given. I'm pretty grateful because I was one of those. I wasn't talking shit on Jimmy Cashpey, but I was definitely like, what I told you. I was like, where the fuck are you, bro? Like I thought your voice was so important. I was like, come on.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I have felt it was important since before I even started talking about it. You know, we all have our unique way of saying things, and we're all going to reach people and plant seeds, and all our voices are fucking important. And I also had quite an amplified voice of hundreds of thousands of people listening to what I was saying. So I didn't want to stop, man. You know, I was like, if I don't just separate myself from this and say I'm not doing that anymore, and tell my family and stuff that, so that I can focus on my healing. If I can heal, this might help me be less stressed and get through this. Do you think I stopped thinking about animal rights for even a full hour of any day? Of course not. Like it's like the forefront of my life, bro. You know, as a lot of vegans in our position, like we don't just stop. Oh yeah, the world's not vegan. Like, nah, I'm always plotting and scheming on what we can do, bro.
No,
and
I mean,
I'm doing a lot.
Yeah, I don't think it ever. You got all those tattoos. I don't think it ever was off your mind. I mean, it's every time.
Yeah, like probably animal rights tattoos. You know, man, I can't help myself but do what needs to be done. Like what I can.
24 hours of tattoos.
Like I tattoos all over me about a vegan message. Like, you know, I'd be the last people when I came back. Oh fuck! I'm glad. I thought you might have not been vegan anymore, mate. I promise you, I will never be one of these ex-vegans. You'll never see it. You'll never see it. So don't worry about it. Like, you guys think that about me? It just shows, bro. Like, there's a big disconnect between public opinion and, you know, who people are online sometimes.
Well, there's a real fear about that because of how burned we've been. I mean, Cosmic Septic, he did a number on a lot of people. I always called that one, but a lot of people were like really upset. And
fuck, I was too. I sent him the most abusive message that he blacked out, but that was from me. He showed it. It's like even popular vegan influencers blacked it out. I'm like, yeah, you're fucking. Look, I said some shit. Because fuck you. You've been going around. You've been going around telling everybody.
Fuck off.
Yeah, so as animal rights, you know, we should stop. Like animal rights, he did a great job. I was like, bravo, this guy fucking gets it. We've got another speaker on our hands. Brilliant. And then he's like, oh, I had a bit of stomach pain. And I
was in
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? All your speeches were bullshit. Like you just had a... Oh man,
but this is where this utilitarian shit happens, man. And it's like it was never about animal rights. It was about suffering versus joy and this calculus that they all want to put into. It wasn't about. This is why This is why when you started doing your shit. So by the time I found out about you doing your speeches, you were like, I was 12 years vegan by then. I think something
That's
like
epic,
that.
mate.
And I was like, oh, finally someone's talking, because I wasn't really interested in doing online content or having my voice be heard or anything like that. And there you were, and I was going, finally someone's talking about exploitation and slavery and Holocaust. They're using the words that
Yeah.
I use. And God damn it.
Animal rights.
Animal
Not
right.
like, make their cages bigger. Look at them in this cage, just as fucked.
Isn't that
Yeah,
sad?
it's all fucked. And the
Yeah.
umbrella of all that is they deserve the right not to be enslaved and slaughtered.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
100%. Mate, as I said, bro, that was Gary Francione who really helped me understand that.
And he's someone that I read early on too. That's probably where I got it, was the abolitionist approach.
Yeah, you got a good message from the start.
Yeah. Because I got into it.
Please go ahead.
I got into it because of ethics. So I got into it because I was against violence and oppression. I had experienced violence early on in my life, and I was like, well, I'm against these things. And someone eventually called me a hypocrite because I was vegetarian. Nice. I was vegetarian, and someone who ate meat called me a hypocrite. That didn't,
those bastards,
right? Seriously, at a fucking dinner party or some shit. Like where I'm sitting there having a drink, and someone called me a hypocrite. I went the next day. The next day, I was
meat
vegan.
Eaters aren't all bad, I guess.
They're really good at trying to call you a hypocrite.
That's all they got.
That's all they got.
Their one shot that fails every time.
Yeah, right. So I went vegan. You're right. I'm a hypocrite. I'll go vegan. Now what?
Fuck yeah. And what about you, hypocrite? Yeah, I'm going to stay a hypocrite.
That guy's probably dead of prostate cancer.
His chances are high.
I heard you talking about on another interview about plant farms movement. Is there something there that? So
I wish I had a good update for you. We've tried really hard to get that off the ground, and it's still something that probably will get off the ground, but it's a massive to do it right from the start in this, and to make it scalable the way that they're trying. It's big, man. And yeah, the guy's on the job, but it's not his only job. He doesn't. If he had the money, maybe he could just focus on it totally. But
could you talk about what it is a little bit? Because a lot of people who follow this channel, a lot of people that talk to me, they're interested in how we might get something like this done. What is Plant Farm Movement?
I honestly haven't even thought about it much since I posted that video about a year ago. I was talking with homie every week for quite a while as we were getting to that point where we looked like things are actually looking like this might kick off. He had a bunch of lawyers working on a bunch of shit. We had some farms that were interested in doing the transition, or we had one farmer that was interested, or two, and I just think they both didn't work out, and it was a lot of back and forth, and it ended up just being like, this is going to be harder than we thought. But yeah, so the main guy who's working on it, Omaid, I almost called him Omar. That's a new guy I've been talking to. Omaid, he it wasn't too. I didn't hear from him for a while. With him, like, okay, we made our video. We've done a bit of this, that. I'm going to work on some other stuff now. Moving to Brazil, whatever. And I just heard an update about probably a month or two ago where it was basically just like, haven't been doing a lot with it, man. So yeah, man, there's not a great deal to say other than just a pretty vague. The intention is to convert factory farms,
transition farms to animal farms to plant farms
in a scalable model where everybody kind of wins, and the money isn't an issue. There's there's a way, man. And look, I would tell you if I could, but it's a little bit complex that I don't want to give the wrong information.
No, so I get it.
I love for the future, bro.
I love the idea, though. The idea of putting money or putting effort towards transitioning farmers to
making it easy for them,
right?
Not even making it easy, making it an offer they can't refuse, making it more lucrative for them to transition, making it an easier everything. That was the goal, bro. There's a lot of farmers out there who would love to change.
Absolutely. I've met them.
It ain't easy for them. Yeah, right. Like, it's a fucking hard job what they do. And a lot of them are like,
a lot of them are finding that their children don't want to do that shit. Like, I know farmers who their kids they went to college so they don't have to be on a fucking tractor. They don't want to live in that small town anymore. They don't want to do any of those things.
Yeah.
that involve
The world is bigger now. They don't need to
Mhm.
be stuck in that little town for sure. Yeah, and look, there used to be milk, and now there's 20 fucking plant
Yeah.
milks on the shelf. Like
Yeah.
competition's out there, and
And
everybody's
everywhere
getting it in
now.
their head.
Yeah.
And everybody's getting it in their head. It's healthier. It's better for the environment. It's better for the animals. Same price. You're not going to be stuck on cow's milk for much longer. So
No.
yeah, and we're
Cow's
seeing
milk is dead, yeah.
yeah, bro. And so look, and it's gonna more people will be born, more people will be eating meat simultaneously, more people will be going vegan, more options will be available. Hopefully more shifts happen, subsidies change and things like that. There's so many fronts that's being worked on. But yeah, that it was something I am passionate about it, but I've also found new passions since then. So, you know, my involvement was never going to be huge with that. It was just like, this is a really good idea. I really wanted to help get this guy off the ground. We brainstormed many times over months. He kept like, you know, we were doing different things in different ways. And then eventually making the video, but that's sort of, it didn't go too much further after that. So yeah, bro, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, this is a thing about projects. Projects, sometimes you start them, they don't go anywhere. Sometimes they go for 20 years and they end, and people are like, why'd you stop? I mean, not every band is the Rolling Stones. You know, most of them break up after a couple good albums.
Most small businesses fail in the first 2 years. You know?
Yeah,
exactly. It is what it is. But if we got like $5 million to pump into it, yeah, we'd probably make some cool shit happen.
That's it. I feel like that. Well, if I had $5 million,
yeah,
make some cool
that's
shit.
why we're working on getting it.
Yeah,
that's why it's a goal, not just a dream.
Well, brilliant. You said that you had a lot of passions and things that you've encountered, but is there anything outside? I think everyone knows about animal rights and working out. That's the James Aspey story. But is there any do you consume any other content? Is there a show that you like? Are you interested in pop culture at all? Do you nerd out about anything else besides getting swole and saving animals?
Yeah, since I've met my wife, I mean, I'm extremely passionate about my wife, actually, just while we're on the topic.
That's a good thing to be passionate about.
Yeah, bro, like me and my wife have...
Before you go, I want to ask you about OnlyFans, too, because that's something that...
All right, let's talk about that in a minute. So, yeah, man, I mean, ever since I met my wife, like, we had something so special, and it's another crazy kind of dream story, actually. I won't go too deep into all the story, but on the morning that I realized, whoa, like we are doing this. This is big, me and you. I had this memory flashback to me it was like, you know, the next morning after I realized all this shit. It was a huge night. And we're camping in my van at the beach. And next morning I saw it in this particular way. And it reminded me of this dream I had. I don't know when. I have no memory when. It was in probably my 20s. Right? I'm 37 now. I've been with her for 4 years. So somewhere in my 20s, I had a dream I was with my soulmate. I was with this perfect girl that we were just obsessed with each other. We loved each other. We were so attracted to each other. And she was my dream girl, right? And I woke up and I was like, damn, why was that just a dream? That girl? Oh my God, someone that perfect could not exist. You know, what a dream. And I thought about that dream for like 2 days, just like, damn, that girl. Whoa, what a dream. Shocked. Telling everyone and shit, I fucking met my soulmate in my dream. And then I saw her.
You told people that? What the fuck?
I was at the time, as I was saying, people were like interested in my dreams because my dreams are so crazy, bro. It was like watching a fucking wild movie of like all these guns and drugs and fucking cops and all kinds of shit. I got a lot of traumas. So anyway, I see my now wife in this particular light, and I just had this flashback to this dream I haven't thought about since 10 years. I was like, boom. And I remembered the feeling, and I looked at her and I saw this part of the dream just where I looked at her, just like from here up. And it was her. And I was like, oh my God, you're not going to believe what the fuck just came to me. I dreamt about you when I was however old, like in my 20s. And I told her the story, and I mention it every fucking 6 months or so. Like, remember when I dreamt about you before I even knew you? And look, like, yeah, man, that is the fucking story. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. That's just how it is. Maybe I'm tripping and it was someone else, but it all, now that we're together, it's it, bro. It's what that dream was like. We're perfect for each other. It's just the best.
Yeah.
And so I'm extremely passionate about
Powerful.
taking care of her and living with her and growing a life together, making each other happy and spending time. And, you know, we do everything together, bro. And I'm very passionate about our 3 cats, Olivia, Dexter, and JC, who we rescued from Bali. We brought them over to Brazil with us. They are the best, bro, because we're at home a lot. You know, we don't go anywhere. We do our thing here. The cats are around all the time, and you know, I'm close with my cats. Like,
you got like an Ernest Hemingway cat thing going on, huh? Like
I don't know who's that.
Ernest Hemingway, the guy. He's a
writer or something?
Yeah, he's a writer. He's famous for his love of cats. He had all these cats.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
That's my homie, bro.
He was crazy about the 6-toed cat, the cats that have 6 toes.
Okay.
And if you go to his house in Key West, they still have like the progeny of those cats. Like those cats are still there. Like
the breed, the species.
Yeah, they're like worshipped. They're kept there as these like tourist attractions because everyone wants to see Hemingway's cats, and he's been dead for years, but like they keep on having
the
kittens.
Cats are living. Okay, hopefully that's chill, but. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, I love my cats, bro. They're my family, and I love to play with them and lie on the couch with them, and every single thing they do is cute. They're just the best. And then probably my other biggest passion right now is raves. We are having the best time, bro. I'm in Brazil, homie. They got the best parties in the world here. In the world here. Like the culture, the rave culture, the psytrance scene in Brazil is fucking mental. It's epic. You go to a party, bro, you see the same people every time, 10,000 people, 20,000 people. But it's on almost every weekend there's a big party. So we go like once a month. We got all these homies at the rave, the DJs we fucking love the DJs, bro. The music they play.
They're the ones that make it happen. Yeah,
it makes us so alive, dude. You know, the music is just the best fucking music. I was only into hip hop my whole life, bit of reggae, whatever. And then this shit, I'm like, whoa, how lucky
now you're an EDM head.
Know this music. I am a psytrance head. Psytrance. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's this particular flavor. Fuck, it's good shit. So yeah, bro. That's
a particular flavor of EDM.
It's not for everyone, and it takes a bit of time to get used to it. But when you get it, it's big, bro. Like you watch the crowd at a psytrance festival, and people are crying and people are ecstatic and everyone's jumping. And it's like, this vibe is off the chain, dude. So I'm super passionate about going to raves, bro, because they're the funnest days of my life. Spend time with my wife. We're hanging with all these legend Brazilians. Sick music, good time. Super cheap here too, bro. In Australia, it'd be $200 Australian for a party half as good as one of these. Here, it's like 30 Australian. It's like a 24-hour party. It's fucking mad.
I talk to a lot of vegans in Brazil because that's where Vegly is based, and we work together sometimes. And the Vegly is the vegan dating app, and and they're based in Brazil, and they're always telling me about all this cool shit. It's funny, EDM and psytrance and that stuff. I was always because I remember one of the first people I ever heard of that was vegan was Moby, and he's like. He went vegan, I think, 15 years before I did. And I remember him talking about it in his liner notes. And I'm like, vegan? What the fuck is vegan? And then RZA went vegan. And I didn't know these musical artists going vegan. And I remember that going, sounds stupid. It sounds like some kind of Scientology thing they're into or something. I don't know. You know, I didn't know anything. You know, I was 14 years old or something. But that was... Moby was that electronic dance music. And then when I worked in Vegas, I worked outside of I worked a lot of the clubs, and I worked at MGM Grand, and we had the biggest club in the world at the point called Hakkasan, and they was mostly they had a hip hop floor. It was like 5 floors of club, and they had a hip hop floor, but everything else was EDM, and it was pretty epic. So I got really into it. It's funny you say that.
Sweet.
That was not the answer I expected. That's not the answer I expected.
Dude, I'm sick for a good rave. We love it.
I
actually made a rap song about the rave recently, and I'm gonna send it to this DJ I'm kind of homies with, who we go back and forth. because I mentioned him in the rave. So I hope he likes it.
All right. So can I ask you about OnlyFans and why every vegan seems
yeah.
to have to have an OnlyFans now? I was talking to, I was talking to that vegan teacher a couple months ago, and she said Tash was trying to convince her to get an OnlyFans.
Really?
And I'm like,
Should probably make some money.
that's what she was saying. She's like, yeah,
Wow.
tell me, I guess what you're doing. What is your thing? What are you doing with OnlyFans, and why are
I'm
so
not
many
doing
vegans-
shit.
You're not doing shit.
No,
Okay.
we haven't posted on OnlyFans for ages, bro. I don't even know if our accounts. I don't think our account's even still active. So, as you were talking about, dude, you've got a few subscribers, maybe get a little bit of money. Yeah, I got a little bit of money, you know, but I didn't have anything like concrete or reliable, or being the job that I'm in, like maybe money comes, maybe it doesn't, maybe this, maybe that. I get $200 a month on Patreon. That's not exactly paying anything much. I'm extremely grateful for it, but life is more expensive than that. So I'm on trying to find other ways of making money all the time. And then OnlyFans comes out, and then I'm with my gorgeous girlfriend at the time, as around the time that we were gonna get married, or maybe we just got married, or maybe we're just about to. I don't know. It all happened pretty fast, bro. But
after that dream, I mean, you gotta put a ring on.
Then I was like,
Awesome.
oh, here's a ring. You
Found
be
it,
that
yeah.
girl. We're gonna
Found
stick
you.
to this. Yeah. I've been looking for you, even in the dream realm. Yeah. So we were just like, let's have fun. Let's have fun. We already taken videos and photos of us having a good time. So we won't do nothing too X-rated at all. Even we didn't do nothing almost nothing I wouldn't put on my Instagram. Like there's nothing that would get me banned on Instagram. Is a better way of saying it.
Nothing that would get you banned on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, maybe there's one or two, but probably not much, bro. It was low key compared to what you see on on some OnlyFans. There's nothing like that. It was just like, you want to see a little bit more of us, come here and we'll make it a little bit sexy. And that was it. And it was good, man. We were like in the top earners for a little bit there, but it's a whole nother job, bro. And at that time, I'm still trying to create animal rights content, and like just life is happening. We're here, we're there, we're going there, we're doing this. Like, so it's just, we didn't need to stick with OnlyFans. We had other things going on. And once we we had a bit of fun, but then we were like, all right, fuck it. Like, let's just focus on other shit. It's a job, bro. If you want to do a photo shoot, you got to do all the shit. And
people don't think it's, absolutely. It's
they're just like, you got to stay fit. You got to look good. You got to know how to do that. You got to eat right all of the time.
You got to fucking show up. You got to
get in front of a camera and fucking do this and that. Like, it's a job. And then you got to go through the editing, and then you got to post, and then you got to post it to everyone and announce it. And then you got the comments, and then you got the messages, and then you got the taxes, and you got to figure everything out. Like, it's work. It's hard, Yeah. Otherwise, everybody would do it. So, but why are people doing it? Probably because, despite that, the vegan teacher has had an incredibly large impact. She got paid for it? I don't know. Probably not. Tash, massive impact. Done tons of shit. Is she rolling in the dough from that? I highly doubt it. Is she rolling in the dough from OnlyFans? Probably.
A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more.
Yeah, like she's making money. She's probably paying some bills from that. Good for her.
I think she's doing better than that on doing OnlyFans. I mean, the numbers that I've heard her throw around, I think, I don't think anyone's holding it against her. It's just, it's an interesting. I don't think they should either, I guess.
But they should. I'm holding my joint in my hand here, like pointing. But they should. It's something serious to consider, because although I don't think it should be necessarily, everybody should be able to do whatever they want with their body, and we should be mature enough to just respect the people that do that instead of degrade them for it, when most of the people doing the degrading are the first ones back on Pornhub later. So it's a bunch of bullshit. And there's a bunch of religious bullshit involved with this, this like condemning of sexual acts and things like that. Our culture is broken. Now, you can disagree with that and do it anyway, and that's what a lot of people do, and all the power to them. But you also do have to consider, and this is something I considered too, that as much as I don't think it should affect my credibility to be having a fun time with my wife, it's probably going to affect my credibility. Do I want to take that hit? And I've made those choices come up all the time. So
that's a question I ask, is that not whether or not, I guess it's whether or not we should be asking the question, are we losing credibility for the movement? And you hear about this all the time in our thing, right?
Okay.
The movement. What about the
Yeah,
movement?
it's hard.
Yeah, and sometimes I don't even think we have a movement. Sometimes I think we just have a community.
We
You
have
know,
certain activists doing a whole bunch of shit. We have a lot of people talking shit. We have a bunch of people
Yeah.
that support the people doing things, and a lot of in between. Like, look, you make a fair point, but if she's gonna have Tash, any fucking vegan animal rights activist, they have the responsibility of maintaining the certain credibility people think, and that's something that they don't like. Then support them enough so they don't have to do it. Support them. It doesn't have to even be monetary. It's like, then just don't give them shit, because you're saying they shouldn't do this job and they shouldn't do that job. They shouldn't do animal rights like this. They shouldn't do animal rights like that. Like, there's so much. That's
what I asked too. Is like, would you rather have them work at a fucking restaurant selling chopped up animals? Would you rather have them work at a supermarket selling?
Exactly.
Like, how many vegans have to live like that?
And if vegans are being sexy, good. Like, people think vegans are fucking losers, a lot of them. So if there's some cool vegans just doing the same thing that all the other people are doing, like that eat animals, why not have some vegans doing it? I just think that we should be everywhere. I don't think there's anything ethically wrong with it, but yeah, it's something to consider, because unfortunately the society we live in, we're conditioned that way to think, oh, that's bad, you sluts are bad.
Yeah,
like, you're dirty now. It's fucked up.
I'm on the same page. I feel like there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm the weirdo who thinks that animals should be free. I know
You're
that
crazy,
I don't.
bro.
Yeah, right. I'm the crazy
What's wrong
one,
with
right?
you?
Yeah,
I think we should stab them in the throat. But
right.
they're delicious.
I don't think that we should.
Bro. Fuck's wrong with you? This conversation is over.
We've been doing it for thousands of years, and
exactly. Good point.
Yeah, it's the oldest profession after all. But I realize that I'm the weirdo, and that most people are, uptight about this shit. There's a reason why there aren't nude beaches everywhere, and people, like you said, the religion stuff and everything else. I had a couple questions from the crowd. A lot of people want to know about your rap career. Are you gonna do any more rapping? Because you mentioned Gary Yourofsky earlier, and I would call him more of like a spoken word slam poet, but that's some crossover into rap. He did the whole thing with the ass bread bit in his his slam poetry delivery always stuck for me a little bit, but
shit was good.
Yeah, a lot of the hand motions and stuff. He was great. You were a rapper, are a rapper, are continuing to rap. The question is, what's up with the rap career?
I would definitely classify myself as a rapper now. I have many, many rhymes, and the vast majority of them are focused on animal rights.
Okay.
I think this is going to probably be one of the biggest things I ever do for animal rights. I think that music is one of the most powerful and influential tools we've got. And there is a lot that needs to be said about animal rights that has no lyrics about it. There's a whole language in animal rights that no one has made rhyme yet. Maybe a couple of rappers made a couple of songs. It's very lacking. Think about all the gangster rappers out there. They've all been able to rap about money, cars, and bitches and whatever else, big houses and shit. All of them have been able to do it in all of their songs, right? So it's like a few. Don't get me wrong. They talk about a lot of important shit and a lot of different things as well. But you get the idea. Like, there's still new rappers coming up rapping about the same shit, and people love it. Just in their own different flavor. Animal rights has a whole thing, massive topic, so many roads to go down, so many rhymes to be rhymed, and there's just so lacking, bro. So man, I've been working on that shit.
So you're getting in the studio. You're like, we got an album coming out. You got some collaborations. What's going on?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fuck. So where am I at? I just got a computer for the first time in like a couple of years, a week ago. All right. So I've been doing everything off my phone for the last couple of years. I haven't been organized. I've been in a fuckload of pain, wanting to die, suffering, freaking the hell out, stressing, not sleeping. debating on my phone, doing whatever else I can on my phone, traveling from Bali to here, trying to live. Okay. Now I'm heaps better. The last 4 or 5 months, I've been heaps better. I've still gone through some shit and I have some pretty bad times, but compared to then, a year or 2 years ago, like I'm good. I can manage this much better. Now, during all that time when I could barely get out of bed, let alone go do something, some activism or whatever, I was like, what can I do? And also, as I was learning that it is inner rage, that is probably having a big part of why you're in so much physical pain. And I believe it definitely was. So I started channeling that rage into rap. I've been interested in rap since I heard Snoop Dogg when I was like 10. My homie showed me All Secret and shit. And I heard Snoop Dogg, maybe I was 8. How old are
Showed
you?
me a secret. 1, 2, 3 into the 4.
It was woof, motherfucker, woof, motherfucker. And this is for the G's. This is for the hustlers. This is for the back to the G's. Yeah, it was that shit. That shit was fucking first rap music I ever heard. So I was like, oh, this shit's mad. But
I love that was your first rap you ever heard. I love that shit.
Yeah,
like I grew up with that. Yeah, man.
Yeah, fuck yeah, bro. Snoop's mad. So I'm gonna hit this joint very soon.
Have you ever heard Jay-Z's impersonation of Snoop Dogg? He does this thing where he says he did it in an interview, and Jay-Z says, Snoop Dogg can say anything and make it sound cool. He's like, cool. I don't have that. He's like, I don't have that. Yeah. Snoop Dogg has that. He's like counting 1, 2, and 3 into the floor. It's fucking iconic.
I just heard Snoop. I thought this about Snoop just the other day. I saw him say just the most random thing. Like it was nothing. I'm like, man, every time I see you, you're saying you're just being cool as fuck. Like, no matter what you're talking about, the way you say shit is golden.
He was blessed.
So I bet he's a fucking G, bro. So I was, heavily into rap for my whole life. Love the stuff. Wrote a few rhymes here and there, but it was just more. Doggy Style is the best album ever. Yeah, it's fucking mad.
Doggy Style,
that shit's good.
Man, I was in
Doggy
Miami.
Style,
they had a wall that was it was a massive wall, and it was a mural of the album of Doggy Style.
Yeah. The cover, sick,
fucking brilliant. Yeah,
that's fucking mad. Oh, yeah, it's one of the best rap albums of all time for sure. Yeah. Definitely one of my favorites. One of the ones I know pretty much every word to. I love that one. But
it's how I found.
I
found out who Slick Rick was. He introduced me to Slick Rick with that album, and I was like,
nice.
I'm a heavy hip hop head, man. I'm the
cool,
type of
man.
person,
I'm gonna send you some of my shit.
Yeah, I want to fucking hear it for sure.
Yeah,
I'm crazy about it.
Fuck yeah! All right, so I was too, but at the one time where I did want to grow up and be a rapper when I was like 21, I told a couple of people that, and I very much got the impression, good luck. How the fuck are you going to do that? There's like 5 famous rappers. This is before social media and shit. Yeah. Maybe I wasn't 21. Maybe I was a bit young. I don't know. But, it was like, how? Be realistic. And I thought, I probably should just put my time and energy into something more realistic. That's a pretty big goal.
Mm-hmm.
But then fast forward to 2 years ago, I got a massive audience already. I'm super passionate about some shit. So I just thought, I haven't wrote a rhyme in so long.
Yeah.
I'm just going to write one rhyme and see what happens. And I wrote a rhyme. I wonder if I can find it for you or remember it.
Dude, that'd be wicked.
Okay, I think it's like, fuck. It's something like, you think you ball and I make this shit look easy. In my beachside mansion, high all day, with my twin flame, eating bananas with Lil Caesar, which was the little monkey I was hanging out with at the time. Pretty fucking decent, bro, for my first rhyme I wrote in like 20 years. I'm like, this is fucking, oi, Nicky, listen to this shit.
Yeah.
And then I started, my head, I was like, all right, I'm just going to start thinking about this. I thought about logistically, like, how good could this be? Me moving to become a rapper, I would probably get crazy views. I'm tired of saying my speech over and over again, bro. Yeah. I need something new, Yeah. And what I've realized is putting my thoughts and feelings into these lyrics. Oh man, it's way more powerful than my speech because I can say it however I want, and it's interesting, and that there's a beat. Like, I think it's gonna fucking kill it personally. Maybe it won't, but I think it will. But so 2 years ago, I do that, and the first thing I do, I'm thinking of lyrics, right? Oh, I'm thinking of lyrics now. Mad, trying to rhyme shit just when we're on the bike, just cruising, whatever. But I was like, I'm not gonna write any of these down. I'm gonna let these lyrics come and go to build my confidence that this is just who I am. I'm just a rapper. I am a rapper. This is before I even have got a song, have even wrote more than one rap. Yeah. I'm a rapper. And I'm just getting myself into these headspaces. I'm a rapper. I was like, lyrics. I'm not writing those down. I'll have more lyrics to come. I'm like, see, more lyrics. But I ain't writing those either.
There's plenty coming behind that. My instrument is sharp.
Yeah, I got this shit. These lyrics, I'm going to make some more. Don't worry about it. And then after about a month of doing that, just not writing anything intentionally, I was like, all right, now I'm going to start writing some of these down. And then I started writing some shit. And now I checked my word count. I'm using Obsidian, so I just got work. I don't know how many pages, but I got like 30 something thousand words. Oh. So that's a couple of hours rhymes. Just consistent rhyming for about a couple of hours. Now, some of that shit I'm not going to put on a song maybe. And a lot of it actually is I did like a verse started that there's ton to expand on, or just ideas or this and that. But there's a lot there. And that's all been on my phone. I just got my computer a week or so ago, and I just downloaded Audacity last night. And I just wrote some new shit yesterday, so I just recorded that. It's what's the rhyme? Let me see. I'll share it with you.
Audacity is a good one. That's the free version of Audition and Pro Tools and all that. It's great. It's so great now. You could download a fucking an app and you're rapping. You know what I mean? Like the barrier of entry is so low now. There's no reason not to do it. If you've got
$80 mic, that's pretty affordable.
If you've got it in you. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid in a band. Holy shit! I was borrowing my guitar. I borrowed guitars so I could play. Like I didn't have one, and I was borrowing people's guitars so I could go on stage and play or practice and shit. It was, and I was in a punk band. And until the band started making money, I didn't have money for a fucking guitar. Nowadays, it's like my guitar costs like $100, and it's fantastic. Everything's cheaper now. It's like,
yeah, exactly. That's like probably what $1,000 guitar was back in the day.
Yeah, right.
And the same with all this stuff. Like I'm, So look,
prices have gone down. Like everything, the mic, the cameras,
is good quality for cheap entry. Yeah, it's
right.
And with rapping, bro, like I don't need drums and this and that or whatever. I got a bunch of lyrics. I got a bunch of ideas. I'm finding my voice with it because writing lyrics is easy. It's like, how do you want your rap voice to sound? And that's the stuff I'm working on now, kind of growing in like the accents and in terms of like pitch and volume and how it sounds and hearing it and be like, it should be more like this or it sound better like that. So that's what I'm working with now. I recorded my first like just minute of something I wrote yesterday. It's the first time I've recorded something that
you're gonna share the rhyme?
MP3. Nah, I'm not actually because I read it and I'm
like, all right, but it's gonna be an MP3 and you're gonna. Well, the thing too is like,
I'm not gonna. Another time we can talk about the rhyme because it's kind of actually a pretty deep rhyme, so I don't really feel like breaking it apart right now.
But we could share it later and
another time. But the point is, man, like, so my goals with it this is a huge goal for me. I want Jimmy Cashpey out there. I want people to hear these lyrics. I don't know how I'm going to release it all yet. Maybe I'll just release some videos, of just me doing a verse here and a verse that sort of teases to songs that maybe at first I'll be on SoundCloud. I don't know. And then I would love to do an album. Like I would love to do many albums.
Yeah.
Because it just pours out of me. It's so easy. I'm like, I want to write something. I'll put a beat on. And I put a beat on. I'm just like, and it's just done. I'm like, fuck, that's a good rap. So yeah, man, it's coming along well.
And so much of that stuff, even if you had pieces of songs, pieces of rhymes that you can put in 15-second chunks and get them with kid. What's that, Kid Distro or whatever it's called? I forget what it's called, but the one that puts them on all the social media platforms so people can use them in their TikToks and stuff. You'd be surprised how many people find that shit through that. You know?
Well, even my one verse that I did release, which was a debate challenge to Paul Saladino and Sean Baker, the carnivore doctors.
Yeah,
I don't know if you see that.
Carnism is Cancer just commented that she wants to challenge Sean Baker to a rap battle.
Sweet,
everybody
yeah.
hates,
well,
fucking hates.
He liked my rap. He liked my rap. It's good rap, good rap. But fucking idiot.
with an animal testicle in his mouth. I mean, like,
yeah, exactly, dude. Those guys are freaks. But anyway, look, the point is, I'd been hunting that guy for a debate for about 6 months, leaving me on scene, ignoring me. I know he saw my shit, leaving me on scene. Then I did a rap about him, and like a day later, he makes a video about it. He says, "Yeah, all right, we'll do the debate." And he knocked back my first debate because I'm like, cool, I'm bringing someone with me. I don't care about like getting a notch on a win against this guy. I want the best person that can defend veganism and animals to come and debate this guy. So I asked for Dr. Avi, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Great. And he's like, no, I'm not debating Avi. I don't want to. I don't like Avi. I go, who fucking cares if you like him? Let's just do it, bro. He's the best. So why won't you put yourself up against the best? If you think you got such good arguments, should be no problem. He's like, nah. I go, all right. So I guess someone else. We did the debate, and it was interesting enough that it got on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan watched the whole debate, he said. And, you know, one of my songs now has got a little bit of this clip on there because it's Joe Rogan asking, like, who's that guy? What about this guy? And he's asking about me. So, you know, I'm on his fucking radar, bro, as a vegan. I don't think he knew that I did a rap. I think he kind of missed that part of the story. But yeah, man. And that video got 200,000 views, and the debate sparked huge conversation and got a lot out there. And it got Joe to notice me. And it's a start. And that was just one verse. Yeah. So, mate, I got so many verses, and I love my raps, bro. When I hear them back later, I'm like, that's fucking gangster. That shit's good. So I think it's going to be fun, bro. It's going to be
so important too.
Addition.
I think that's so important because if you can like what you're producing, man, that's like half of it right there. That's like, I mean, even more. That's like 80% right there because so many people, they make shit and they just don't even like what they're making and they just keep going.
Yeah,
and you know,
just stuck in a genre kind of thing. Man, I love it because it's so fun to express this way, and it's like it's creative, mate. You know, it makes you feel good. You put something out, it's something new, something that people will like. You put a beat to it, and then it's a song that can get 1 million views, 2 million views, and people listen to songs over and over and over and over again. They don't do that with my speech. So the potential for these messages in these songs, and there's animal rights messages in every single song of mine, to understand what I'm saying is like magnified 1,000 times because they're going to listen to it way more. So and bro, like being a vegan rapper, it opens doors. You know, you get in the rap game, other rappers will hear about you. I'm calling out the world, dude. Like I'm dissing the whole world. I'm dissing everyone who eats animals. Everybody. Yeah. So like it's shots fired big time, bro.
It's also it's made for rap too, because rap is made for that. I mean, early rap, I mean, a lot of it was just dance music, but a ton of it was about anti-oppression, calling into question the hierarchy, the existing hierarchies, shining a light on the oppressed, the police brutality, especially with, you know, when NWA was doing their thing. I mean, we see
Tupac as well.
Yeah, and Tupac for sure. I mean, there's too many names to mention, but even again, Slick Rick, even when it is just a little ballad of a story, you know, you hear about police brutality and the life in the streets, and these are things that I think the lives of animals can be kind of illuminated, and people can start seeing what the fuck and start having questions, because that's what it is, getting people to ask questions, isn't it? Probably which, as where you can hear. You mean the Joe Rogan thing? Is that what you're asking? Probably which?
Probably mean the raps, the way I'm following and reading the question, and the answer is nowhere yet. It's you can only hear it if you're in my office with me at this point, which you aren't. But look, as I said, I just got a computer. I'm just like getting set up with this shit, figuring out a desktop again and signing in all my shit. Just downloaded Audacity. So like, I don't know when it's coming. Maybe it'll be a bunch of songs this year. Maybe it'll take a bit of time. It also depends on some things I've got up in the air. If my finances blow up, then yeah, I'll invest a lot more, be able to invest a lot more into making
get a producer
sooner. Yeah, I'll do it legit, bro. Proper legit. Not in my home, me trying to understand how to do this as well as write the rhymes. I wish I could just rap it and then someone goes and does what they got to do with it. But, you know, it's what it is. But, yeah, man, so, look, it's going to be big. And this is just, you know, one thing I got going on that I'm excited about, really excited about. Jimmy Cashpey. So, yeah, it'll be a project.
Jimmy Cashpey's the rapper named Jimmy Cashpey?
Jimmy Cashpey, yeah, bro.
That's
Thanks
nice.
to my haters, bro. They named me that and I loved it.
Well, it's interesting because I've only got a couple more, and one of the things that you said that you said it a few times is how thankful you are for your haters, and that's something that I think about a lot because all of us who are doing anything with the public face, we do have a lot of haters, and you've, like I said, you know, you've experienced that to a degree that I think most people hopefully won't, but
I hope so as well.
yeah,
it's big, bro.
But you seem to kind of be zen about the whole thing. How have you found that place in your heart for them? How can you be thankful for your haters? Are you really into meditation now? I mean, where are you finding the generosity to be thankful for your haters?
I don't think it's generosity. It's just a genuine understanding of what they are and how they assist me. You know, it's not all easy. Don't get me wrong. Well, it is now, but it takes time. It's forced growth in me. If you are out in the public sphere, people are going to judge you. That's fact. Now, if they're judging you and it's making you question yourself, that's a problem. You need to be more certain about who you are and what you're representing so that random people can't throw you off that, no matter how many of them it is and no matter what they're saying. So it's forced me to do a lot of soul searching. There's been a lot of mocking of me and other activists like me over the years, whether it was like kind of mocking that we were straight white males and we were trying to get all the attention and it would be a photo of us, me maybe with a march full of people behind me and my photo. And it's like, yeah, because I'm doing social media. I'm showing me. You guys don't really understand like blogging and vlogging and stuff. I'm vlogging animal rights. You know what I mean? Like that's why my face in it going to mean that people following me going to get more like it's strategy. And people are like, look, so self-centered. There's a whole bunch of people here, and you're taking a photo of yourself. Like, you know, I don't think they really understood what was going on, kind of thing. But look, you hear a lot of things about you over the years, and also when it's vegans, and I'm passionate vegan, and I care a lot about vegans. It's like your family, it's your tribe, and they're talking shit. And then sometimes it's people that I've stood next to at slaughterhouses and factory farms and like done some serious work with. You know, come to my speeches a bunch of times. And then they get offside. And it's like, fuck, maybe I should take a look at myself. Maybe it's time for a bit of self-analysis. And if you're a good person, that's going to be the best thing for you because you'll self-analyze and be like, I have my heart in the right space. I'm not a fucking this. I'm not that. I'm passionate. I'm dedicated. I'm making a fucking difference. I got the numbers to prove it. I've never hurt anybody. I've never ripped anybody off. I've never lied about any shit. I'm open and honest about everything. So thanks for the reminder. I'm fucking great. And I don't feel bad at all about being who I am just because you want me to, just because you do things differently or think I should say things or do things differently or you don't understand certain events that you misunderstand or you read some shit or whatever. And I've lost a lot of people through the process. Bye-bye. I'm not going to cry about it. You know, I just got to keep going and doing my thing. And my goal from the beginning was if one person eats one less steak, my year of silence will be worth it. And now it's just like anyone that gets a seed planted from me, I'm happy. People are going to hate, people are going to love. You know, the bottom line is neither actually matters. I'm good in myself. I appreciate the love. And I also found a way to appreciate the hate because it gets like there's a lot of benefits from it. It's free sales. People are talking about you. They're talking about you. They're making you important. They're making you more famous. And, really and like if you've got people and you are either going to defend yourself or someone else will. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's the internet. Things move on and like you keep going. And so, yeah, man, they're fucking there. And I won't let them beat me, bro. Like I'm passionate. This isn't just a joke or a game for me. This is animal rights, dude. So like, I'm coming back. You know, I'm never going to stay away. I stayed away only as long as I had to, for like 6-7 months or something when I was dying of pain. I was back even when I was still suffering and before. So, you know, these people just talking shit, and like, even if they convince a lot of people, I still, what am I going to do? Just, okay, you guys win. I just won't talk about animal rights anymore. Impossible.
Yeah. What am I supposed to do? Take my ball and go home? I mean,
Go be a personal trainer again and count reps. I can't. I tried that already after my vow of silence. I'm helping someone get fit with their fitness. I'm helping them become vegan. Meanwhile, I'm thinking I've got a massive audience that are out there, and if I post something to them, that's way more beneficial for these.
And it doesn't matter even if you went back to being a personal trainer. If you're any good at it, you're still going to have people talking shit. I was in hospitality, and guess what? Every time there's a saying, you know, that the tallest blade of grass gets cut first, and it's true that every time you're soaring a little, you're getting a little Icarus. You know, you're getting a little too close to the sun. There's a bunch of people taking shots at you. It's in everything. It's not just our thing. It's not. I'll tell you what, people.
100%.
Someone in here said, I agree that sometimes the criticism from vegans feels a lot worse than criticisms from non-vegans, but that's in so many. I'm telling you, that's not unique to our thing.
Hi, Natalie.
When I was in restaurants, I had other restaurant owners talking shit about me and my restaurant, and that hurt more than the people who were just talking shit because I was trying to do a vegan thing. I was trying to do this. The amount of people who are willing to talk shit about you taking your shot, you trying to do something, it's an unfathomable number. They far outweigh the people that are your cheerleaders and the ones telling you can do it.
It's true. But again, it's not even about the numbers game. If I had more haters than lovers, I would still do what I felt was right.
Yes.
Because I strongly believe in what I'm doing. I'm not just having a guess here. I strongly believe what I'm doing, what I'm saying. And I strongly believe I'm an ethical, moral, considerate person. So I trust myself that I will continue making the right moves. And I don't regret any of the moves I've made, despite people think I may have done something wrong or something here and there. I fucking back everything I've done, and I can back it up. And what's the problem? Like someone the other days in the comment thread under George's video talking shit about me. You're just spending the movement's money. Like, what are you talking about? What money am I? You know, and you know, I did more. You haven't done anything lately. You got no idea what I'm doing. You see a 15-second Instagram clip and you think you understand what I do all day, every day. You got no idea. It's the stupidity of people. But people read it and they're like, oh, wow. And then she's like, I said, listen, what you don't like me for, I donated $20,000 to the animal rights movement, okay, from 6. So that's the scam you're talking about. There was no scam, despite how many people say it. It doesn't make it true. I donated. I've helped get thousands and thousands of dollars to sanctuaries over the last decade. And this is no different from that. I did another time just because you made a big deal about it. It was no different. And she's like, yeah, you don't do anything, blah, blah. It's like, well, listen, first of all, I'm not obligated to do anything. You're not my boss.
What have you done for me lately?
Who are you? Yeah, you're not. Who are you? I don't owe you shit. I don't know my audience anything. Everything I put online is for free. I don't know anyone anything. I've spent hours and years on helping people in this way. I don't know you anything. I don't know your explanation either. But also, have you ever donated $20,000 to the movement? You know, have you reached tens of millions of people? Why are you talking shit about me? I'm not out there saying, why haven't you reached tens of millions of people? Go do more speeches. Go donate more money. I'm like, yo, everybody go vegan and do what you can.
Go do more.
Go write some raps. Where are your raps? You don't have any animal rights rhymes.
Do more speeches, bitch. That's what I need.
She's like, I do activism all weekend. I'm like, fucking awesome, mate. Good for you. I appreciate it.
It's great.
The difference between you and me is I'm not talking shit about you. See, I'm happy for you, and I'm glad you're doing that. I'm a grateful vegan, not a fucking hater on people doing good shit. And I honestly, I think it just comes down to she envies my lifestyle. She sees a 15-second clip of me on a Monday at home, and she's like, I'm at work. That's fucked. This guy doesn't deserve this. I work harder than him. Mate, it is what it is, you know. You're never going to get what you want being a hater like that. If you want good things in your life, you've got to be happy for people living the way you want to live. That's how you get, that's the good energy you need to muster.
everyone says that. Like I've traveled the world. I've lived all over the world, and people will tell me all the time, like, "Oh, I wish I could have done that." And it's like, no, you don't, because I sacrificed a lot to do it. And it's like, yeah,
Exactly, dude.
it seems great, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. That's the road I chose. But goddamn, look at the things that you have. Like, I am also jealous of you.
You've got a stable income that you
a
go to work every
family.
week. Oh, that
Yes.
sounds kind of nice. Oh,
You
you got a
live near your
fam. Like,
family
you
and
live
they're
in one
super
place for the
supportive.
last
Yeah.
10 years. Amazing. That sounds,
Right.
wow, delightful.
I've
Oh,
always
and
been jealous of
also,
that. Hmm.
how do you think you would have dealt with what I've been through? You know, because I've been through a lot of shit. How do you think you would have dealt with thousands of people criticizing you and making private groups about you and monitoring your every single online footprint and making conspiracy theories out of it? How would
Right,
you have
yeah,
dealt with that?
dedicating podcasts to talking shit and all this. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean,
Mate, look, it's fucking intense. And the bottom line is, go make me more famous. I don't give a fuck. Go talk shit. I'm a fucking vegan rapper over here. I've done a bunch of other vegan shit in my time. I'm
Yeah.
very happy with the numbers I've got of people who've gone vegan. Tens of millions of people have seen my videos and my message. I'm happy. Talk to me. You can talk shit about me when you've done what I've done. And until then, shut up. And you're never going to be able to get to this level anyway. So I said to this person I was talking about, I hope one day you reach as many people as I do. I really do. And what I didn't add, but I thought about adding was, but let's be honest, you probably never will. And that's not like a competition thing. It's just like facts. And why are you talking shit about me? I'm a vegan and I'm doing good things for animals. You're wasting my time. I could be doing better shit than arguing with another vegan right now, and so could you.
Well, there's something in this culture of in the vegan community where that's what we do. I mean, I don't know. I'll nitpick activists, and because I'm usually trying to learn something from their outreach and talk about these things, but at the end of the day, I do like other vegan activists. I like to disagree with them. I like to question. I like to scrutinize. But I'm happy that people are out there doing it. You know, but there seems to be a whole cadre of us that are just interested in destroying other vegans, and I don't quite get it, to be honest. And we can all just say it's jealousy or it's this or that. I just don't get it, you know.
Yeah, man, it's sad. I wish there was more unity, but the bottom line is it actually doesn't matter. Like, I don't even, yeah, it would be great, but do I need that unity? Do I need everyone, you know, feeling the same about me, or, you know, or understanding, you know? No, I don't care. I got my own shit going on.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not bothered with all that shit. I'm just trying to like score my next goal. That's it.
That's what you got to do. Someone asked me, it's a question because we have the Corn King in the chat. He wants to know if you like to eat corn, and if you do, how do you like to eat
that is
corn?
So funny you asked me that today, because I had a hectic day of corn eating yesterday.
Corn eating?
Okay, Corn King, my man, what's up?
Yeah.
Dude, we just bought 7 kilos of popcorn last week that just arrived. We eat popcorn almost every single day. We love popcorn because it's so delicious, and corn so delicious and you know, healthy. We put the tiniest bit of oil to coat the bottom. We put a sprinkle of salt. We keep it pretty healthy, you know. But delicious, healthy, quick, smells good, hot, warm snack. It's great. We have it as a meal sometimes, just a massive bowl of popcorn. So I'm a huge popcorn fan. And yesterday, on top of the popcorn we already ate, I boiled 4 corns on the cob because I was feeling corny.
Oh, it's in season down there, isn't it? So that's fantastic. It's summer down there, right?
Honestly, it was actually like really bad corn because I overboiled it by far, because I thought last time we mustn't have boiled it enough. But this time I realized, no, it's just the type of corn. It's like not burst with juice vibes at all. It's just like really hard little.
It didn't have the juice. It had the knobs, but not the juice.
Yeah, it was really not juicy at all. So I still ate it. I'm chewing it, and it was just very like, it was a meal almost, you know.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't sweet, so it was not a great corn experience. But I'm sure I have another popcorn experience probably later today.
I've always wanted to be down under the equator when it's winter here. I've never experienced.
Well, I'm in Brazil, homie.
But you're still beneath the equator.
Oh, sorry. I thought when I hear down under, I think.
Of course, that's why I backed up. Yeah, I backed up. I said down under, then I
sweet,
realized
sweet. My bad.
that it was I'm talking with the guy with an Australian accent, and then I said, "Oh no, I mean under the equator." I've never been south of the
Never been
equator.
on the lower side. Yeah, cool. You
Yeah,
got
never been on
plans?
the lower side. One of these days, definitely. I mean, my traveling days aren't like they used to be, but because I'm doing the animal rights thing, and I just don't have that type of budget these days. But
I wanted to talk. I'm glad you reminded me about your animal rights work, because I want to actually ask a question about or make a point about it. But sorry, please continue. I just wanted to get that out so I would remember.
No, I was merely saying that I wish one day I could. One of these days, I want to experience winter in the southern hemisphere. I want to experience February in the southern hemisphere. But go ahead. What's your?
It's true. It's a trip. Okay, cool, man. Well, yeah. There's Australia's a great place to visit, and I'm sure you'll be very welcome. There's some good vegan crowds floating around, as you already know.
But steer clear of the goannas.
You don't have to steer clear, but just admire. Don't try to kill.
They've got talons. I'm admiring from afar.
Admire from afar. That's the move.
I feel like all animals in Australia should be admired and observed from far away, because they all seem.
Especially.
Even a koala seems like it could fuck you up pretty bad.
They can.
Yeah, they all seem like they
can. Koalas, they eat a lot of eucalyptus leaves.
Yeah.
You ever see koalas are like this? They look like
they're high.
Yeah. They get the same as from weed as they do eating eucalyptus leaves.
Right. That
so
they're probably.
Yeah, they got some syphilis too. Yeah, stay away from koalas.
So just get away from koalas. They're high and they have syphilis.
Yeah. But there's some like if you get the right bunch of kangaroos, you could get lucky and have a pretty chill time. But there's some kangaroos that look like they're on steroids.
They look like they're ripped. Yeah, I mean, but
they're nuts.
I hear they love the Deirdre do. When in the 90s, something that happened in I'm from California, and in the 90s there was this time when I was in high school where everyone, especially anyone who was kind of counterculture, had a didgeridoo, and they would play it at the cafes, and you'd be like at the cafe, and fucking, it was just the cool thing to do with anybody who had like white boy dreads. It would be like didgeridoo
for them.
Yeah,
didgeridoo, bro. That's a classic Australian instrument.
Did you learn it in school? Like we learned the recorder. You guys learned the didgeridoo.
We learned the recorder, bro. I wish we learned the didgeridoo. That would have been sweet.
Not the recorder. Didgeridoos are so much cooler.
Play recorder, so much cooler. That's a really good point. I'm gonna start a petition in Australia on that one.
Didgeridoo, it's good for like native rights and everything. Like it's part of the culture. It's way better than the recorder. Yeah.
The closest I ever got, I was like a real little kid, probably 5 or something. We went into Sydney in the city, and you walk around the city, it's very touristy. There's a lot of buskers, a lot of dudes playing music or juggling or whatever. And there are these indigenous guys sitting there painted in all the indigenous war paint or whatever it is, doing the clack with the sticks and didgeridoo. And then my dad, they wanted someone out of that crowd, and they got my dad to do the didgeridoo. And I'm sure no one has ever done the didgeridoo so badly. These guys watching were like, what the hell? It was not happening, man. He got a lot of
give me back my didgeridoo.
It was bad. It was like, come on. I remember it well. I remember the sounds it made. Like, I'll never forget. It was hilarious. But he had a crack at it. But dude, all right. So about your activism, I wanted to just mention something, dude. I don't know if you know about this, but we have a guy in Sydney, one of the most dedicated activists you'll meet, and his name is Andy Faulkner. You know Andy?
I know. Andy Faulkner is the guy who goes, "Oh, that guy." Yeah. Andy.
All right. So for a while now, I think it's been probably quite a bit over a year. He goes into the city in Sydney with heaps of signs, all animal rights signs, and he plays a speaker with animals screaming in slaughterhouses. And this dude has been involved in like the Cube of Truth there and other activism things in Sydney for years. He used to run the Cube, I think, and heavily involved, seen a lot, paid a lot of attention to what works and what doesn't. And he's like, mate, the screams, no one can ignore them. and it gets the biggest reactions from people. It shocks people. A lot of people get really triggered by it and they'll talk shit. Cool, good content.
Oh, yeah,
a lot of people get really like bothered because it's fucking animal scream there, and then they get a conversation and it's probably meaningful. And I'm going to do an interview with him at some point in the near future. I'm going to start live streaming soon. Actually, that's another thing I got going on. So probably in the coming weeks, I'll get started with that. Maybe we can have another chat or something. Yeah, cool.
Please,
but
sign me up.
yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. And let's do it about some interesting something that happens. Whatever, something interesting happens, message me, be like, you want to talk about this? And then we'll do it, right? So
all right,
let's keep our eyes peeled for something. We'll keep a topic saved for us.
Shit's interesting happening every day. So
much shit every day. It won't be hard at all. All right, sounds good, bro. But anyway, he was, and I really wanted to get him on to get this message out there because he's onto something big.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, we're getting way more reactions from this than anything else. And I hadn't heard about anybody else making this a big focus of their activism until you mentioned earlier that you're driving around with a truck pumping the sounds of the animals getting killed.
Have you seen the truck?
I don't know if I have. Send it to me now.
I'll check it on the screen. Okay, so
cool, perfect.
Yeah. Hell on Wheels. Usually if I get a here it is. So it's a truck that looks like the live transport vehicle without the walls on it for here we go. Can you see that? There we go. You see how that looks like?
It?
That's it. It says Hell's on Wheels.
Oh man.
And see how it looks like a bunch of dead like bloody chickens.
It's like printed on there or something.
Yeah, it's printed, but it's convincing. Wow. Like you can see how people.
No, it looks. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
that's great. Can you
a lot of
zoom
people
in on anything a little bit?
A lot of people compare this to Banksy when he did his thing.
Similar vibe, but this is way better because this is more realistic.
Oh yeah, it's actually photographs.
Oh, they're real photographs. Yeah, cool. I wasn't sure if it was like cartoon or.
No, it's really realistic looking. Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
People think it's real. Like it's always surprises me because people go like, "Wait, is that real?" I think it's because the sound fucks with people's heads.
Yeah,
and so there's some people will go like, "Is that real?" And you're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like they're clearly not moving. Like this is a graven image, but but people will touch it. They'll walk up and touch it. But the screams, the sounds of the chickens, it's impactful and it triggers people for real. Like and all runs the gamut. What you just described is exactly what people will. I'm very, very shocked at how people react to it. PETA's actually making a new truck. So Hell on Wheels is the company. It's a meat company, right? Hell on Wheels chicken truck. We're making a Hell on Wheels pig truck. And the screams make the chickens sound PG. Like the screams of the pigs are so intense. Roll. Yeah, because the chicken truck. Here's what's interesting to me is that I've done a lot of protests with megaphones, whistles, cowbells, screaming and yelling. I've done all that shit. Never have I had police come up to me and like, "You've got to shut that off. Shut that off." Like usually. With the megaphones, they don't usually tell you get away with it. I'm playing the chicken sounds, and the day before yesterday, cops come up. "You're breaking an order. You have to shut it down." It happens every time.
Wow, really?
Yeah. The cops are always on me. They follow me around town. They yeah.
That's interesting, bro. That's some USA shit.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit.
Too. I mean, look, because what I said to Andy, I'm like, "How you getting away with that, dude?" And he said, "Well, if the cops come on, turn it down a little bit." But like, he's still doing it every week. I'm shocked that he's getting away with it. Like they're allowed the screams,
Well, I'll have to.
So I'm not surprised that you're having trouble, like, because that's pretty confronting, as it needs to be.
Yeah, when I'm driving,
we wouldn't do this activism if you guys didn't cause these screams.
Well, I have to go. I have my First Amendment right, and I'm not. You're not allowed to play. I'm like, I can play whatever I want. It's my First Amendment right. I'm a political protester, and so I have to give them the whole thing. But they've got
man, the last time they're like, fine, do what you want, then we're gonna bust you for loitering and cruising, which is like an old like racist law that is
Wow,
still on the books that they're trying to
really?
bust me on. Yeah, like weird shit like that has
That's
happened a bunch of times. She's asking me, Fulton. I'm gonna go to Shreveport, but not New Orleans. So I will be in Louisiana. I'll be in Shreveport in a few days. Like I'm in the Panhandle. I'm in Panama City right now, in Florida. I'm driving through the Panhandle on my way to Mississippi, Arkansas, and Louisiana, and then I'll be flying back to California. But because it's hard to do, man. My last one, I was out for 2 months, and it was it's hard to do 2 months straight with this one, just because it's like the the confront.
the intensity,
Yeah,
the
it's a bit more
intensity of
intense.
like
Yeah.
the crowd and the screams and the yeah, and
Mhm.
like you're traveling around. That alone, even if you're on a holiday, traveling around is like
Some stressful stuff. Yeah.
stressful. Yeah, yeah. Man, well, I commend you, bro. It looks epic. I'm gonna have to watch some of the videos or something because
Well,
looks very powerful.
I've been doing a vlog. I'm trying to, what I want to do is like
Sweet.
I want to be like the vegan Anthony Bourdain, where I go to places, but instead of talking about food, I'm talking about activism and animal liberation. So like
Uh-huh.
I've been doing cubes. If there's a cube in any town that I'm in, I do the cube. I do the whatever protest is going
Right.
on. I try to hook up with activists that are in that town. So this also isn't the only form of activism I'm doing when I'm on the road. So like in Miami, I did the Seaquarium protest. When I was in Denver, I did the fur ban protest and the petition signing, and it's
Cool.
been really rewarding. And I'm so
Awesome.
grateful for the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
doing a great job, bro. And
thanks,
I'm
mate.
sure they would give you a massive thank you if they could. But bro, like not everyone, there's very compared to the size of the problem, and then you
Yeah,
look at all the vegans out there who are so few, and then to see that even much smaller percentage of people actually spreading the message and getting out there and doing their thing. It's a small amount, dude. So fucking you're super important, bro. And I'm sure you're making a great impact on a lot of people.
I'm hoping to. I think that's the goal, right? And it's funny, being thanked and stuff. It's one of those things where we all grew up and we killed animals, And I've said a lot of times, because hate the sinner, hate the sin, not the sinner.
Yeah.
I've heard you
Uh-huh.
say a bunch of times, and it's one of those things where I say, well, I've got a lot of friends who are murderers, but I myself am a murderer. I There's no statute of limitations on murder. If I grew up,
Mm.
I ate animals when I was a kid growing up. There's no statute of limitations. Once a murderer, you're always a murderer. You don't get to take that off of you. The blood's always on your hands. You don't ever get to
Mm.
take that off. And
Mm.
so I feel like I owe a great debt, because
Yeah.
someone's got to do it, man. There's not enough people like
We we have all taken way more than we were entitled to from animals, and the
Mhm.
least we can do is give something back.
Yeah, yeah,
And
totally agree.
there's a lot we can do, mate, as individuals, as we've seen. Like with the power of social media now, we're always one video away from reaching. Even if you reach 100 people, that's a lot. That's hard to do back in the day. Like 100 here, 1,000 there. That's a lot.
Totally, and
So,
we fucking take it for
big.
granted. I have
Ah,
TikTok. I have a couple videos that have hit the million mark now, and I'm really proud of that.
epic.
But most of them are in that 200 to 1,000
Yeah.
range. Like that are like on like TikTok and Instagram and that shit. And I'm like, you know what? To get 100 people to show up to fucking anything is a giant
Yeah.
feat.
That's a lot of cubes, dude, to speak to
Yeah,
100 people.
that's a lot of cubes.
Fucking a lot of
Fuck,
Wednesdays.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Absolutely, James.
Dude,
How will people?
go ahead. Wait, I just had one more question for you.
Yeah, go,
Oh,
please.
yes. I'm glad I remembered it. So you're doing the thing, you're cruising around, and you said you're vlogging, like you're putting videos on YouTube of your activism and stuff. Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah. So when
Similar
I
sort
talk,
of thing, like street interview kind of vibe, but street interview plus screaming birds
yeah,
track.
there aren't as many of the street interview things. I'd like to do more of that, but my outreach.
But I mean, just during that protest,
Yeah.
do you do that? Do you talk to people while it's going?
Sometimes, because
Oh, okay.
the chicken sounds are so loud, I don't always get people who wanna talk, but when I do, I'll try to
Mm,
record it. I've had some really cool interactions. I
okay.
had one with a cop
Yep.
that I outreached a cop that came up to me, that was really cool. A chicken farmer, came over and started telling me
Awesome.
about his 30 million chickens that he owns.
30
Um,
million?
30 million. 30
Fuck,
million chickens he owns.
imagine having that much blood on your hands,
And
dude.
and and he owns 30 million, but he used to own 45 million, but he had to kill 15 million because of bird flu. And these are things like so those are the types of conversations I want to put out
Retarded.
there because I'm having those kind of I think
Yeah,
next
some
level.
deep ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
big shit.
I don't do
Excellent, mate.
I
Fuck
don't do
yeah.
the Q&A thing as much, but a little bit. So when I say like, you know how some of these travel log people, the good ones, they will go to a town and they'll try to get a flavor of the town and they'll try to tell you why they're there. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm like, okay, I'm here in this town for this reason. Here's my impression of the city, and here's why I'm actually here. It's for the animals. It's for spreading the word. And so I give it like a there's a reason for me telling you
Yeah, a
about
bit of
this
a
town.
story.
Yeah, and that's kind of
Interesting.
where I'm trying. That's where I'm trying to do. I don't know how successful I am, but
I'd
I'm
love to
enjoying
watch
doing
one,
it.
bro, and get an idea of what you're doing.
I'll send you one. I've got
Yeah,
one.
send
I've
me
got a
one.
few. I'll send you my. There's some that are like super triggering because there's lots more activism going on, and
Uh-huh.
so a lot of them. Each one's a different flavor of because every
Yeah,
town
yeah.
is a different flavor, and
Okay.
but
Sounds
I'll
good.
send you the one in Miami when it has the mural of Snoop Doggy Dogg's
Send me
album.
that shit.
I'll send
Yeah,
you that
now
one.
you got
Yeah,
it.
that one you'll like.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
that one will
Awesome,
like. It'll
brother.
bring it full circle. Where can people find out you? So we're coming. I invited you for an hour, and you've been so generous with your time, and I appreciate you so much, Jimmy.
My
Would you?
pleasure, bro. Been a good chat.
Thank you. How will people find you and what you're up to next? How can people get in touch with you and get onto this live? You said you're doing live streams. Are you doing it on
Uh-huh.
YouTube? How can people
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna
refollow you?
start to. I'm gonna start. Yeah, look, I'm pretty over. Well, first I got my Facebook account hacked. I had about 200,000 followers, and that
Oh,
got completely hacked. I got no access to that no more. They just post poker videos on that shit now, so that's gone. So don't look for me there. But I got my YouTube channel, which is where I'll be doing the live streams. That's just under my name, James Aspey. And I have an Instagram, James Aspey. I am pretty tired of Instagram, dude. What I'm hoping though is to just get organized with it, have a bunch of stuff scheduled, which is something I've never done, like getting into scheduling. But I think it's a much more efficient way of doing this work. So
yeah.
now I've got a computer. I think I'll be able to schedule a bunch of posts for some months. And then I just want to focus on the music and on the live streaming. So I hope I will be spending a lot more time on YouTube in the coming months.
Awesome. So, and that's just
Yeah,
James Aspey is the YouTube
yeah.
channel.
The it's like youtube.com/voiceless360 voiceless365, which
Okay.
is the campaign I did. But if you just look up my name, you'll find my channel. Yeah.
Fantastic. Cool. I can't wait to see your live streams, man. I'm super
Cool,
stoked to
man.
get back in the
Yeah, it's gonna
game.
be
Yeah.
fun. Bro,
And
like I
I want to
wanted
hear
to
those
be. I was
raps.
just fucking suffering, bro. But also
Yeah.
in that time, I couldn't do much. So I watched YouTube. You know, a lot of all the vegans that I admire, I developed a lot of my animal rights theory actually and my debating skills despite not doing debates. And I saw some of them live streaming. Like I'm a huge fan of vegan gains. Huge
Mm.
fan. And
That's not
I
something
just
you hear every
fucking
day.
He's ruthless and I love
Yeah.
it. He makes me feel so good. When he debates and I see him destroying another carnist,
Mm.
that's like my guilty pleasure in life. That's how I got started with popcorn. I'm just watching vegan games like, get him, son. Go, go,
That's how
go.
you got
Say
the
everything
quote.
I wish I could say to this person. So he's great. So anyway, he does live streams most nights. And you know, he goes through a lot of vegan content. This is what I want to do. I want to get a lot of animal rights vegan content, old stuff, current stuff, whatever, and just talk about it. Here's my thoughts on what I'm seeing here. And I think this is a really effective way of getting mad views and getting a really important message out there with pretty minimal effort. You know, you're just chilling and chatting, kind of like what we've been doing now. So that's how it seems to me. So I'll give it a crack and see how it goes. And also, it's a good way to make money for people who are, you know, like an activist like you or like me, people do live streams, and then you get a few donations rolling in, and as you get a bigger following, you get more donations. Occasionally you get someone really generous. Awesome, bro. Like, cool, we'll keep the lights on. Maybe we can do some different cool shit in the future. So for that as well, it's good. Yeah,
well, that's true.
and
Yeah, I mean, I had
Sorry,
Jackie Boyle. She bought me my first drone. I have a Jackdaw 3000. She got me a drone.
That's very generous, Jackie. You're awesome.
So I've been taking drone footage of the activism I'm doing. It's pretty silly.
That's beautiful, man. I'll tell you a funny story about the drone I was gifted. I was on a cruise ship, giving speeches at it was a big event full of the vegan doctors and a bunch of vegans. We're all learning about health, and it was awesome. And Freely's mum was there, who I've met a couple of times, and we've always been, great vibes. I was good vibes with Freely for a long time as well. And she said, "Do you need anything? Can I help you?" And at this time, I was doing a tour around America. I was like, "I would really love a drone, actually. That's my next purchase I'm going to get." She's like, "I'll buy it for you." So very generously, she bought me a drone. I was super grateful. Then a few years later, all the drama goes on. Freely's like, "This guy's fucked now. Fuck James Aspey." I'm like, "What are you talking about, Freely? You know me, you idiot. Like, you're just going to believe this bullshit? Not even ask me about it first? You're an idiot, but whatever, no big deal. Bye-bye." But then she starts going, "My mum bought James a drone, and he never," I don't know if she said he never bought it, but she definitely said he never used it. I've got videos with drone footage from that drone that have got like hundreds of thousands of views and stuff.
What? This is a weird thing to say anyway. I bought him a pair of rollerblades and he never went rollerblading with me.
Well, I think she just like expected, I don't know, me to be always popping drone footage. But the point was, like, I was traveling. I had no office, and I've been traveling the bulk of this entire decade. I've been an activist. This is my first office I've had, dude. Like, I'm so happy to finally see what I can do with one of these things. But, so I wasn't pumping out video after video or nothing, but I used my drone many times over slaughterhouses, this and that, for different things. And like that time we did an open rescue with DXE, mad drone footage, couple 100,000 views. So like, it was frustrating. But at that point, she'd already, said her bullshit. Over. I'd already said, "What the fuck you on about?" And then, and now they just think that, I don't know if they think I stole the money or that I just never used the drone I bought, but I have fucking footage with it. But anyway, so it was just some stupid shit. But yeah, the point is, it was a funny story I thought I'd share. But, no, I'm still super grateful for it, and it's there now. I'll use it when I can use it, but when it makes sense. But the thing is, bro, like, these people like Jackie and like Freely's mum who helped me out, and I really appreciate it. And I got people on my Patreon, dude. I get $200 a month. Mate, I'm not in my Patreon. I lost my login account to my Patreon a long time ago. I'm actually in the process now that I've got a computer, getting it back, and I've got to send all this ID stuff and all this stuff. But they're still sending me money, dude, $200. They're still supporting me. And, it used to be more than that. And there are people out there who want to see people like you and me and other activists win. And they're fucking legends. And not everyone can do what we do and dedicate to it like this. And they're like, "Cool, we'll help you do it." And I think that's awesome, man. That should be celebrated and really appreciated. And the amount of activism is reliant on how much we can pay our bills, basically.
And it also, I mean, I don't think it's over. I don't think it's exaggeration at all to say that they're making my dream come true. My dream was to leave my profession, leave my career, and start a new one as an animal rights activist full time. And I'm 24/7 now, and I think that was my dream, and it's come true. And yeah, I might not be paying all the bills just yet, but we're getting there. And
it'll happen for you for sure. Just keep on the job. Mate, it's awesome. And look, not everybody has that dream to be an activist. So the few that do, it's not like you get paid for driving that truck around, or maybe you do with Peter, I don't know. But like, a lot of us are doing a lot for free because our passion is defend animals, promote animal rights. So like, it's great that people will support our passions. Because, dude, someone who's an artist who draws nice pictures, if they'll get support. Some this, some that. All these people get it. Someone who's doing unboxing videos on YouTube, they're getting a ton of cash. And good for them. Good for them. That's sick. Congrats, you made it. But if someone's going to go all the trouble of like putting themselves through all the bullshit that comes with being an online presence and an animal rights activist, fuck yeah, bro. They deserve all the good.
I mean, that's all I could say. I mean, because honestly,
the bottom line is it's helping animals, dude. Like, you know, it
that's the
fucking helps
idea,
animals. So like,
right?
that's
Like,
why we're passionate about. It's not for the fun of having haters and
right.
calling everyone all abusers. Like, it's not for the fun of fucking, you know, being in a random new hotel right now and going tomorrow and listening to birds scream the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm not like calling out the whole world. I'm scared of that. Like, I'm calling out the whole world with my raps. It's going to be a big backlash. It's not just like this will be a joyous event. Like, nah, it's because we got a fucking big heart for the animals. And
You just described my life. You just described my life in a random hotel room listening to fucking birds. You're right,
bro. That doesn't sound very nice, but I appreciate you doing it.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it is it's fulfilling still. You know what I mean? It's fulfilling.
And we're very lucky, bro. And look, we're human beings. We're in the comfort of wherever we are right now, safe and, you know, secure. That's more than you can say for most humans, and it's more than you can say for all pigs and all chickens and all. So, like, you know, yeah, we could just fuck around and do nothing and just play. Like, I could spend all day with just Nikki and my cats and never write a single rhyme and never do another interview and never think about animal rights. Sure. But like, man, like, we got a responsibility here, you know? Someone got to do it. Government have legalized all this cruelty. A bunch of people who claim to be animal lovers don't care. Vegetarians are happy being vegetarians. They don't want to make the effort. You know, there's very few of us out there who are really willing to like get out there and do it. So go us.
So go us. So go us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's James Aspey. This is Vegan After Dark. James, stick around for a second. I'm gonna play the channel song, and I'll see you in just a little bit.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
It's so hard to not abuse animals.
Carnies can fuck themselves. Go fuck themselves.
This is a channel for veganism. This is a channel for veganism. This is a channel for
All right. I want to thank Kitten Pyramid for the awesome channel music. Thank you to our donors today, Gorik and Jackie Boyle. Thank you to Patreon subscribers. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to everyone that was so active in the chat. I really do appreciate the activity. I love the community. And I just appreciate everyone so much for being here. You wanted it to go longer. It went 3 hours, Dobrik. Goddamn. All right. Well, I appreciate you all. And don't worry. In about less than 12 hours, I'm going to be back online with another stream at I think it's going to be 12 p.m. GMT, but it's hard to tell because your daylight savings time is different. You'll see in the YouTube community post. Please be there. That was hella great. Came in late though. Don't worry, you can still watch it. I don't think we cursed enough to be taken down, so I think it'll be all right. You can still check it out. Thank you, everybody. Illegitimate non-carborundum. Don't let the bastards grind you down because I need you and we need each other. And damn it, the aminals need us most of all. Rap battle now. Rap battle soon. Thank you for the big duck energy. Bye, everybody. Thank you, everybody. VFS.